Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshi traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. Don't be a stranger if you're just window shopping and just peeping your head in and just checking things out. Just join the family. Join the In Search of Huru family. We will love. You have a home here. You have a home here. Couple of announcements. We are rolling to Nigeria August 2nd to the 11th for the Oshun Festival. Again, August 2nd to the 11th for the Oshun Festival. We are rolling to Nigeria. We are also going. Where else we going? Zanzibar in September. Kenya in September as well. Then we're doing Ivory Coast and Ghana in November, and Sierra Leone in November as well, and Benin Republic in January. So if you're interested in joining us, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO .Africa to learn more. We would love to host you all on one of our mini excursions. Also, what I need you to do, or not now, but right now, is go to Amazon.com. Okay, I need you to go to Amazon.com right now and search Dynast Amir. Okay. And if you have not bought a book yet, I need you to buy a book, one of my books. Okay. If you have not bought a book yet, I need you to buy one of my books. I will greatly appreciate it. I need y'all to support and buy the book. So again, please visit Danfo.Africa and buy a book. Without further ado, today's topic, I'll put the link in the chat room shortly. We talk a lot about brain drain, the brain drain, Africa suffering from brain drain. And I tell people there are a lot of intelligent, very smart, very competent Africans on the continent. That's why I kind of understand the brain drain argument. It just really depends in what context. Like, for example, I think there are more Ghanaian doctors or Nigerian doctors in America than there are in Nigeria and Ghana. Or I think the argument was there's more Ghanaian doctors in New York than there is in Ghana. I think that was the argument. So again, it just depends on the context and what you mean specifically. But what people aren't really talking about now, you have, well, they did talk about it some last World Cup because they said Africa, even though France technically won the World Cup last World Cup, it was really Africa who won it because all of the players for France were all like first generation Africans of France, or their parents immigrated to France and the kids ended up playing for France instead of their African countries. But no matter how you try to spin it, Africa did not win a World Cup. No African nation won the World Cup. It was France that won it. All right. No matter how you try to spin and make the argument how the majority of France soccer team, we ain't saying football over here, is soccer. There's only one football, and that is tackle American football. Everything else, when you're kicking the little ball on the field, the soccer ball, that's soccer. Okay. It's not football, it's soccer. So I understand the argument, like these kids are the offspring of African immigrants, the descendants of African immigrants in their first generation French, however you want to put it. But with that being said, they still made the conscious decision to play for France and not play for the African countries. For prime example, Mbappe. Mbappe's father, I believe, is Cameroonian. So why didn't he play for Cameroon? Oh, he chose to play for France. And France destroyed my Senegal. I think it was last week. Completely destroyed Senegal. I was disappointed in that. They completely, guys, hit the like button as you come to the channel. Hit the like button, and don't be stingy with the super chats either. So go ahead and super chat, Cash App, all of that. But yeah, I was very disappointed in Senegal. I don't think Senegal's won a match yet so far. Has Senegal won a match yet? But anyway, there's a player for the United States of America. His name is Folarin Balogun. Again, Folarin Balogun. He's Nigerian. He's playing for the USA. In fact, here's even a better one. George Weah, who is the former president of Liberia, and he won I forgot the name of the award when you're the best soccer player in the world. His son plays for the U.S. soccer team, not for Liberia. Let me repeat. George Weah's son plays for the U.S. soccer team, not Liberia. But really, Nigeria, when it comes to athlete drain, they're by far number one. Again, when it comes to athlete drain, Nigeria by far number one when it comes to just about every sport, from basketball to soccer to track. They're by far number one country on the planet. But anyways, let's watch this interview with Folarin Balogun.
I heard this one crew beat a team playing only vacuous.
The first men's World Cup match in the United States in 32 years.
You have the chance to make history.
Before he did make history.
Get Balogun! Balogun delivers for the United States.
Folarin Balogun had to make a choice, one that transcends geography.
The different countries that I've been associated with and helped me at different parts of my life. So it's difficult to just pick one.
Many of us consider one country to be home. Balogun, often known as Flo, has three.
I was born in New York. I grew up in London. My parents are Nigerians. I take a bit from the different places I've identified with growing up. They've all helped to shape me to be who I am today.
All three nations would see their own reflection in Balogun. Moving through the ranks of academy soccer in England, he broke out as an elite goal scorer in 2022.
Balogun, brilliant!
His star rising all three nations, England, Nigeria, and America,
What an impact from Balogun!
wanted to claim him.
I was playing in France for Reims. I had a good season. I was making a lot of progress. I decided that it was the right time for me to make a decision.
The decision was driven in part by the story of his own birth and his mother, Florence.
She came to visit her sister in New York. She was too heavily pregnant to fly back, so I was born there. Then you fast forward to when I'm 21, about to make a decision. She just reminded me that nothing in life happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. She did want me to represent the USA as well, so that helps.
Flo made his decision in May 2023.
I decided to play for the US. It's been a decision that I haven't looked back since.
3 years later, the decision played out like destiny. In Balogun's World Cup debut,
Such great composure in this moment.
not supplanting his heritage, but writing his own history.
It means everything, you know. There's a great sense of joy, a great sense of pride. The word I associate with America is ambition. We're a young team looking to create history, so that's something I wanted to be a part of.
All right, I'll put the link in the chat room if you guys want to call in and add to the conversation. You're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. Again, I'll put. Hold on. What did you say? Country first, 1850. Mom lied to you, bro. She went there for birth tourism. I mean, hey. Well, he's doing well representing the good old US of A. All right. But guys, links in the chat room. But yeah, this is common. But see, you don't see this from other countries, really. It's just primarily African countries where the best players are playing for other countries. Which, I mean, let's talk about it. Links in the chat room. If you want to call in and add to the convo, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Everybody doing well? Yeah, man. How's everybody doing in the house, y'all? She was already an English citizen. She didn't need. Go ahead, M.
Thank you, sir. Perfect segue, perfect discussion. I think the reason a lot of Africans, I wouldn't use the word fleeing, but relocate to other countries, particularly Western countries, is because, based on my research, most African nations spend upwards of 50% of their revenue service and IMF debt, national debt. Picture this: you get an auto loan, 20% auto loan. Most of the money you're paying on your premium goes to interest, so you'll never pay that debt off. And I was looking at this term they use, like defaulting on what they call it, development. A lot of the reasons Africans don't have the money to develop their countries is because they're stuck in debt. And if they don't have they have the money, it's just that they're like getting shook down. They made these bad decisions. And a lot of African people don't really have the economic knowledge to know why the money is not going back to the people. They're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I think that's why a lot of the Africans is going to these other countries looking for better opportunities and better infrastructure in order to seek self-determination or self-actualization to fulfill their dreams. And I think, like I was looking at this thing, they talking about some these NGOs around the world they purchase African debt in exchange for environmental protections. That's just a way, like these white people got these massive estates in Africa, right? So I'm looking like if NGOs could purchase African national debt, so can we, as far as Americans. And that might be a way for us to use our leverage as far as like having
like, are we on topic?
That's what I'm saying. Like the topic is the reason why Africans are going to these countries and then they're taking advantage of their physical prowess as far as being athletes, or their intellectual prowess as far as being these doctors and lawyers. And I say the reason they're relocating is because their countries don't have the money because they're stuck in debt to finance the infrastructure. Like if they wasn't in debt so much, they might have the facilities to take care of their citizens, and they might stay in an African country and play for their teams. But because most people don't understand that they're stuck in debt and they don't have the money to put in development, that's why they flee to these European countries, or like America or China. They're going anywhere else that has the infrastructure. But I don't think a lot of them understand that their countries they're stuck in this debt cycle that they can never get out. That's what I was saying.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Skywalker.
Hey, Dynas, can you hear me well?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I think the issue it's a consciousness issue. I mean, even Frantz Fanon, the real famous French philosopher and psychiatrist, he wrote Black Skin, White Mask and The Wretched of the Earth, for people who don't know. But you should know if you're Black. But he famously said that, it's the job of politicians to create fully conscious men who are also athletes. And that's not what we got. You know what I mean? A lot of these, something has to be wrong with your mind, to just like throw away your country, you know what I'm saying, your patriotism or whatever, and go and play football or basketball for some other country, right? And I understand the money thing. Don't get me wrong, I understand the money thing. But once again, me as a Wilsonian, a student of Amos Wilson, who famously said that power is not money. And one of the problems with African Americans and the diaspora and black people as a whole is that we associate power with money. And those are two different things. As a matter of fact, if you got enough power, you don't even need money. A perfect example of the way that money flies in the face of power is Elon Musk being a trillionaire, but he couldn't stop Donald Trump from undermining electric cars. Why? Because Donald Trump got power along with a lot of money, and Elon Musk just got money. So if Africans, if Black people understood that we got to stop chasing money for power and just chase power, right? I think our athletes and the brain, I think there would be no such thing as a brain drain or athlete drain, right? We would protect our markets, and things of that nature. So it's a consciousness issue. Anything that's going on with Black people is a consciousness issue. We are not, we have not took on an African consciousness. And in many ways, our consciousness hadn't even been aroused, right? We can't even imagine a world without, white people in it. And as a matter of fact, we can't even remember ourselves before we even encountered white people. It's like, as far as white people are concerned, it's as if we didn't even exist before them. And this whole mindset, this whole kind of, viewing the world through a Eurocentric lens, that's a consequence of that. The type of personality that's been created in our bodies is compatible with white dominance. So everything we do is compatible with white dominance. We work out. Our athletic body, we go use it for white dominance, right? Right. Think about how much money these people got to be making to pay you $200 million a year, right? These people got to be making so much money, and for me to be able to pay you $200 million a year, I got to be taking in about $1 trillion some odd dollars. You know what I'm saying? But Black people being in a state of involuntary servitude, we would rather be LeBron James before we rather be the person that pays LeBron James. And we have a culture of entertainment, and the involuntary servitude is so deep within us that many of us train our children to be athletes. Before they even come out the womb, we're throwing a football in their hand. You know what I mean? So it's a psychological issue that's going on with Black people.
And let me ask you a
for
question.
them to feel like that they have to go to other places to use their talents.
Let me ask you a question. So, with all this is
Okay, I'll say that question, brother.
With all of this that you're saying is,
Go ahead.
why isn't LeBron James going to Europe to play basketball?
Well, I mean, he making a lot of money here, right? I mean, why go to Europe when you with your family? Your family's here and everything. You know what I'm saying? So the little extra money Europe maybe could pay him. It's not worth removing your family and all that.
Africans are going to Europe and giving them all of their intellectual, physical capacity. And what's the point? What's the purpose of that?
Exactly, bro. And something has to be wrong with your mind. Okay, first of all, you asked me a question so you can interrupt and get the platform, bro. So hold on, let me land. Anyway, like I was saying, something has to be wrong psychologically with your consciousness in order for you to seek out another race before you know what I'm saying, use your talents to solve the problems or even to entertain your race, right? Everything we need to you can get all the money that you need for entertainment from black people if you entertain black people, right? But black people don't look at it that way, and something has to be fundamentally wrong with their consciousness because no other race really operate like that, right? Maybe in athletics sometimes, but I'm just speaking in general. Chinese people use their intellect to help the Chinese nation. Matter of fact, we got a few real famous mathematician Chinese people who just quit their jobs at these Western some of them even breached their contracts to go back to China and use their intellect to go help their own nation. It's only black people who have been subjugated,
you speak in generalities. China is
taken away from their cultural and African cultural perspective and been made. I'm talking about the rule. I'm not talking about the exception, bro. I understand that there are exceptions. I'm talking about the rule here. So once again, you're interrupting me and you're coming and you didn't make a point. Now, like I was saying, only Africans seem to be more loyal to others as a result of it. And we have to look at that. Why is that the case? Because we've adopted a Eurocentric perspective, right? We've adopted a perspective, as Amos Wilson puts it, we're African containers devoid of African content. And that's a problem.
30 seconds.
Okay, now you can have the floor, bro. And that's all I'm gonna say anyway. You guys have a nice one.
All right, go ahead, Africa.
I'm out, Dynasty. I said everything I had to say. Thanks.
Okay, go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings to everyone. Interesting conversation, interesting topic today. Please like, share, and subscribe and support the channel. Us Africans, in the diaspora, that's what I said, in the past, we're the only people that can change Africa. The Africans in the diaspora are the ones that can change the continent. We have so many great talents, globally, who are contributing to the world economy, but they don't have that passion to go back to Africa and change it. I mean, we're in the platform here. We have people who are, some of them are like 60 years old. They probably have, tiny bit of education, but they will sit in Europe. Okay, like Putin said, Europe is the workhouse for African, and Africa is the graveyard for the African man. This is it. They come here, work hard, basically show other people all their knowledge, basically share all the knowledge to the rest of the world. And then when they're ready to die, they go back to Africa and they get buried. Story end. This is exactly what happened with the entire African diaspora. And then we sit here, we want to blame other African groups like the FBA or the African Americans or the Caribbeans for our own problems when we have bigger problems. I mean, you rightly named, country like Nigeria. We know for a fact Nigerian are one of the most unpatriotic group of people in the continent. They invest a lot of money. They spend a lot of time online on the internet insulting their government and their people. And then they come to the West, because they get free electricity and tap water and decent roads that they don't have in Nigeria. Then with the education that they gain from Nigeria, they will come here, help this country develop, pay their taxes, work hard. Some of them actually were doctors in Nigeria. They come here and become a cleaner for that matter. And they're happy to do that, and then when they're ready to die, they go back to Africa and they get buried. Some of them might have a little home in their village, You know, some of them might have you know, a mansion in their village, but that they never enjoyed. It's just typical of the average African. It's not only Nigerians, but Nigeria actually top the charts when it comes to those kind of things. I mean, there, of course, yeah, there are some countries who are actually a diaspora do go back and do well. You know, there are a lot of the diaspora, you know, from West Africa and Africa that who come here and make money and send remittance back to Africa. You know, they send money because that's what the African government rely on when it comes to foreign exchange. But nothing more. You know, we all want to be. I know the problem is we all want to be footballers. We want to be musicians, singing Afro beats and playing sports. Yeah, that's all good. But the last time I look around, I don't see a lot of engineers around here who are Africans. And if they are, you know, why are they? Where are they hiding? Because I'm looking for them. And if they are also here, why are they here? Why are they not going back to the universities in Africa and lecturing and teaching this younger generation, you know, to champion the new industrial revolution, the future industrial revolution? That's the question. So, I mean, yeah, we're going to see Africans like Mbappe, you know, the kid that you just mentioned, you know, like George Weah's son. I mean, I will give Sierra Leoneans and Liberians a bit of blight. It's not because I'm from there. We suffered heavily from a civil war, so we got driven out. You know, if it wasn't for that, I don't think you'll have a mass amount of Liberian Sierra Leoneans living in the West because we was okay before the war. So yeah, I think Nigerians in general, I think they need to stay a bit more in their country. They need to leave other people's country alone. They need to stay in their country and develop their country and stop crying. You know, that's my advice to them because they go to every country, you find them, you know, they do well. Some of them are doctors, some of them are lawyers, but then you have a lot of them who are criminals also, who are tarnishing the reputation of their population. So they're making all Nigerians look bad. But I think, yeah, we are very talented people, Africans in the diaspora, and we should do more. I pass the mic. Thank you.
All right, man in High Castle, go ahead.
Good evening, Dynas. This is Reverend Green, the man in the High Castle. Hello, everybody on the panel. Hit the like button, share, subscribe, everybody. I think this is in relationship to soccer, football, correct?
Well, yeah, soccer, but all sports.
Specifically, correct?
Soccer.
Right, and you know, the other day I had watched the England versus Ghana game, and you know, I did put some coins on it, and yeah, I was disappointed with the results too as a draw because that's not how I played the money line, you know. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and I did see what I saw. I knew someone was going to take a big dive, and I knew what team it was because I've seen this before a few years back. But it is what it is. You have to challenge the referees too, the officials on certain things, and that's something that they would not do. But I'm not surprised, you know. We have a lot of talented people out here in the world, and one of the people out, I like Giannis. I like Giannis. Some people may not like his personality. I like him when he plays ball. I like the fact that he doesn't vibe too much with the media. He tries to stay to himself as much as possible. You know, I like that type of attitude. But I think the things that we're talking about here is soccer. And I'm watching Brazil right now. They don't have that same attitude towards Scotland. They whooping Scotland. That's how it has to be done. You stop worshiping. Stop worshiping what you're not. That's how I look at it. And I think it's deep seated. I think people like those in Ghana have a brony worship. They worship the bronies. And they're going to continue to. At the end of the day, I can't help them. I have people here in the United States that do the same thing. I can't help them as well. I'm my own person. The one thing I could tell you, Mr. Charlie, they'll respect you a little bit more when you look them dead in the eyes and they understand that you take yourself sincere as a human being and you're proactive at it. You're not out there tap dancing. But what Africa just said, I believe.
All right, 30 seconds. I'll pass
What
it.
Africa just said was very true. A lot of these people in the so-called, they come to the so-called diaspora. They have doctor's degrees and everything, but they come here just to wipe ass. They be working a hospital. And it's a damn shame.
They make more money doing it over here than they do in being a doctor in their own countries.
It is true as well. That's what I hear.
All right, let me pass the mic. Go ahead, Kunta.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, good evening. It's evening in Nigeria. Much love to the panel, to the host, Diana, and everybody listening and watching. First off, let me start on a very controversial note. Personally, I don't like talking about football with Americans. No disrespect to you guys, but
first of all, soccer. Go ahead.
It's actually called football. But because you are the host, because you are the host, because you are the host, we'll respect that. You know, I don't want to, because I have a lot of things to say, so I would just want to get right into it. Let's start by saying the topic of the room, respectfully, is already on the faulty premise. You know why? Because you can't call that brain drain. Majority of these African players, supposedly, that are representing these different countries, were born in those countries. So you can't really call that brain drain. They were born there, they were raised there, they were trained there, they achieved fame there, all their skills, all their talents and their abilities were developed there. Majority of the African countries that they came from contributed practically nothing to what they became. You talked about Mbappe being of Cameroonian descent, but he's also of French descent as well. He's also of French and Algerian descent. His mom is a French Algerian. You understand? I'm pretty sure Mbappe has never stepped one foot in Cameroon. He was born in France. I promise you, if Mbappe was born in Cameroon and played all his football in Cameroon, nobody would know him, despite all his talent and his abilities. Those countries groomed them. Those countries trained them. Those countries paid them. So why should we feel entitled simply because they're of African descent? That's on one side. On another side, the reason why this conversation is not balanced is also because you are refusing to acknowledge the fact that many diaspora players themselves play for their home countries. Look at the country of Morocco. Morocco is the best African team in football at the moment. Forget all the drama and shenanigans that happened at the AFCON. Objectively, they are the best African team. Currently, they are playing a 2-2 draw with Haiti right now, you know, and it's very impressive to see what they're doing. 90% of those players were born abroad. Hakimi was born in the Netherlands. Saibari was born in Belgium. Majority of these players were born abroad, but they play for their home countries. So can't we also talk about the fact that there are some diaspora players who still have some level of connection and affinity to their own country to represent it? I'm from Nigeria, even though we didn't qualify for the World Cup, but a chunk of the players who play for the Super Eagles, that's the Nigerian national team, they were born abroad.
So you don't agree with the premise of the show?
I do not agree 100%.
Okay, that's it.
Not.
I'm not the host. You just babbling, but we get the point.
I'm not babbling. And I'm being respectful. By the way, you talked about Folarin Balogun, who was born in Brooklyn, and there were allegations that his mother came for bed tourism. That's not even true. His mother was actually supposed to return back to London. She was 26 weeks taken in with his pregnancy, but due to airline rules and ethics, you can't fly an heavily pregnant woman. So she had to give birth in Brooklyn. She had to give birth to Brooklyn, and then she flew immediately after she had him back to the United States.
We don't deal with frivolous talk. You just babbling,
I'm just trying to clear.
My fault, man. Sorry about that.
Don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt
him.
We're not doing this today. Don't interrupt him.
Em doesn't even know anything about football. I don't know why he's talking over me. Like, if I ask him who is his favorite player, he probably wouldn't know. We'll have to Google. But just to summarize it, let's be balanced in these conversations. There are numerous players who are born abroad who choose to represent their countries of origin, probably like the African countries or like the Asian or South American countries, probably because they feel some affinity there or they see the chance. You also have to recognize that sometimes the African countries themselves, we ourselves have ourselves to blame because we don't do a proper tracking of our diaspora players to see the people that might be eligible to play for us. There are so many issues ranging from corruption to late submission of bids to not approaching FIFA, too many things. There have been several cases where some players will be invited or will be called up, but they won't be played. So if a player has been called up 2 or 3 times by his home country and he wasn't given a chance to play, what do you want him to do? His career is going to keep wasting. And then the country he was born in or the country he was raised in keeps calling him up. Who else is he going to respond to? He's going to respond to the country that calls him up. The players themselves have a choice, have the opportunity to make a choice between the countries they were born in or the countries they originate from, depending on who calls them up first. So sometimes it's usually on a first come, first serve basis, and the chances of them getting a chance to play. Let me take an instance. Look at a player like Kani Chukwuemeka. Kani Chukwuemeka is a midfielder. He's of Nigerian origin. He's Igbo, right? He was born in Austria, but he played he played in Britain. He played his club career in Britain. Nigeria didn't call Kani Chukwuemeka. Why wasn't he called? Because there were too many midfielders already that we had, and they were all better than him. So how do you expect him to represent Nigeria when he knows he doesn't even stand a chance because he's not good enough compared to the players we had on ground? He had no choice but to represent Austria. And as God will have it, Nigeria didn't even qualify for the World Cup, but he's playing for Austria at the World Cup right now. So he has World Cup on his CV. If he had wasted his time trying to wait for a Nigerian call-up, he would never get a chance. So let's be objective and let's be nuanced in our critique of these African players.
Can I just interject quick? I mean, you made a good case about the footballers. I agree with some of those views. But however, what about the professionals who were trained by the Nigerian taxpayer, like the doctors, the nurses, those people who were trained by the Nigerian taxpayer? Because if you look at the statistics, how many doctors you have in Nigeria per population is probably one of the worst in the world.
Yeah,
and also
I'm actually a doctor myself, so
exactly.
So I'm in the best position to speak about this.
Okay.
So yeah,
brilliant.
To be honest, I try not to compare. Thank you very much. That's a good point. I try not to compare sports and entertainment to actual white collar jobs like medicine or academics, because it's like you're comparing apples to oranges in this case. All right, I agree with you that sometimes they take advantage of the cheap and subsidized education that they get in Nigeria and then, go to transfer their skills abroad or go to impact the economies that they move to. But don't forget, these same people are the same ones sending remittances back home. All the doctors and engineers and academicians and lawyers and all of these people that have left Nigeria, brain drain is a huge problem to Nigeria. That's not even an argument. But some of the returns that we get from them is actually what stimulates our economy. In 2024, Nigeria got more diaspora remittances than FDIs. In fact, the diaspora remittances that Nigeria got from the remittances that Nigeria got from the diaspora itself corresponded with the foreign direct investment, because guess what? More than half of the foreign direct investments that we got came from the UK. It didn't even come from the United States. It came from the UK. So in a way, although it's an uneven, it's not balanced. The return is not balanced, but in a way, they are contributing. They are giving back.
Cool. You got 30 seconds. You got to pass the mic.
Yeah. I just wanted to, and I wanted to end by, addressing the claims made by M, talking about how African countries are indebted, blah, blah, blah. There's no country in the world.
30 seconds, man. Just move on.
Hey, M, this is not your show. Be quiet, okay? Or you can leave.
You don't know anything about football, bro. Like, that's what kills me. So finally, I just wanted to address the claim. I mean, it has nothing to do with the topic. I want the topic to go on football. I just wanted to end by saying it's not fair to compare the indebtedness of African countries when you, as an American, your country is the most indebted in the world. You guys have more debt than GDP. But the reason why you are riding free is because there's nobody who will pull you over or strong arm you to pay it, because the debt is in your currency, one, and two, you can just print to pay it all off. Now, America right now has $32 trillion.
That's a white man debt. Now it's our debt now. Thought this the white man.
Can I come in now, Dennis?
Yeah. I got
Thank you very much, Dennis. Thank you very much. Much love.
I got to pass. No problem.
Shout out Morocco.
Okay.
Go ahead, Elvis.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Dennis. And hello to the panel in the chat. Look, not shout out Morocco. Shout out Haiti, man. What are you talking about? Shout out Morocco. Well, look.
I think that as an African, obviously. Shout out Haiti, obviously.
Haiti is more African than Morocco, man. Stop it. But look.
Okay, shout out Haiti then.
Wow. I'll say environment, right? In both cases, environment is the biggest, determination, because if you're a soccer player, right, most soccer players have to go to academies if you really want to learn how to play, because it's an intellectual and a physical sport. Most of us in Africa, for example, we play what we call Freetown ball. We're just playing little kickballs around the neighborhood and whatnot. And you don't really learn the psychology and the tactics of the sport just playing in your neighborhood. So most of these kids are going to academies at 4 years old. You're both getting education from elementary all the way up to high school level, and you're playing, soccer or football from an academy standpoint. So most of these players, they tend to, to thrive in those environments, and they become the best, the best soccer player they can become. The problems with African countries, we lack the resources. We have more important things like healthcare, and our economies are struggling. Our roads are not really, well done. So we're not going to put hundreds of millions of dollars or even billions into academies and, and the footballing infrastructure in Africa because we don't have the resources. We have to prioritize, more pressing issues than sports. So that's the difference. So even a lawyer, right, or a doctor in Africa probably gets paid maybe $2,000 a month. A Nigerian doctor is getting paid like $1,700, some of them, which is ridiculous. But when they come into an environment where you have all the equipments, you have salaries that is very competitive, you have a lot more options in a better environment to thrive as a Nigerian doctor or a Nigerian soccer player. So that's the difference. It's not about brain drain. People understand that our environment, we haven't built it up to a level where we can be competitive on a global stage because the environment is poor due to our lack of resources or poor management. But outside of that, you take players like Timothy Weah, because we have 2 Liberians in the U.S. national team. We've had 3. Before then it was Darlington Nagbe, who played, was the number 6 for the U.S. team. We've had many Liberians, Americans who played for the U.S. team. But again, the reason you don't see much of us here because the U.S. didn't have a robust soccer system. So when we come to the United States, because we like to come to the United States more so than like England or Germany, because this is the country that we associate with. Like most Nigerians like to go to London rather than America. But if you go to some of those countries, they have a robust soccer academy system where a kid who is talented could come through the ranks, get a professional, a career in soccer and start making millions of dollars before he even hits 20. It's not the same thing in Africa. So Africa, when we think that these are our talents, these are our people, they're not. Because you didn't invest in them. You didn't teach them how to play soccer. It was most likely a white man that was on the training ground telling them how to, train their bodies, giving them the nutrition, telling them how to sleep, the mental rigor of understanding the sports and being tough on the pitch. There's a lot of things that goes into it that many African countries just didn't invest in. So we can be proud of their black skin, but really the product that they're putting out is really cultivated by the white, people that the white people who, who kind of taught them and trained them coming up through the academies. So we're proud of the African players that play for these these European teams. But at the same time, if we're being honest, Senegal, like you said, Dennis, Senegal didn't produce 90% of their players. Algeria, Tunisia, most of them grew up in Europe. Most of them were born in Europe. So when we're being honest, the only African team that's really over there, take Curacao, for example, right? Curacao is an island nation that only one player on the entire team was born in Curacao. The rest of them were born in like Germany or the Netherlands. So it's not the same, man. And that's the difference. Just a lack of resources. I think if we had the resources and the infrastructure, Africa will compete at a higher level and we'll have purebred African talents rather than people that's been exported and then came back home after they've learned their trade by foreigners. But I'll pass the mic.
What position do you play? I'm a goalie, and you would never.
Well, I was a number 8. My father actually was.
I give you 20 tries in real life.
Don't say that. My father actually played professional soccer.
Right. I mean, when we talk about,
but you're right. At the time when I grew up, at the time I grew up, and I'm from the States. Love the States. My people from the States. But when I played soccer, I was not someone. They knew the politics behind the soccer field. They knew exactly who they were going to pick, what positions. I wish I learned other positions very well and stuff like that. I didn't know I was going to have children who were going to be interested in soccer like how they are today. But at the same time, I'm a goalie. And I swear on everything, the politics
Okay.
behind who gets to learn what position is all about the coaches and who they favor. Who's
No,
their
they'll
friends,
put you in
stuff like
goalie if
that.
you have a long wingspan, if you're tall,
Exactly, I
if you're
do.
not very
But long
great on your
story
feet,
short,
then they put you in the goal.
you, sir, you would never see me on the soccer field and do nothing to me. To
Oh
this very
man,
day.
I don't even like to brag about my bro.
This is why I don't like
I was a
On
soccer
God that I
team. I was
love,
the captain of
Jesus
my soccer
Christ.
team in Liberia at 8 years old. Go ask about me, bro.
He said,
Right. See, I mean, this saying one second. This saying,
Let's get our cleats on, sir.
that is don't kill me, please. Saying
Discuss soccer,
Do
please, not
this.
cleats.
about
I
this,
swear to
the
God,
opportunities.
Daddies, I went to a Christian school in Liberia called Sotelmo. It's on 19th Street in Liberia. Ask about me there. I captained my high school team as a 4th grader. My parents will tell you.
My own father played soccer professionally. My own dad
Right.
played
If
football professionally.
people are
So
saying,
managing
sorry, but people are
advances was
saying,
being
one second, there,
comedian.
Kuntal. People are saying about the opportunities. I mean, some of our best players that came out of the continent, these people learn how to play football with bare feet. These people learn how to play football with plastic studs. And they never had all this training, all these opportunities that these European players have, or the black players who were born in the West. So this is all myth. It's just a mindset. And also, I agree with the in terms of development, but that doesn't give you the right to run away from your homeland and go to help develop another country. That's lack of patriotism. We're not nationalistic enough. That's a problem. And you can see how a lot of these countries take. Yeah.
Majority of these players were born abroad. Are you missing that fact? Majority of African players.
That's why you made a good. That's why you made a good case. I mean, I still got my own skepticism about that, and also I'm not really 100% happy with that. But that's just a fact that they're born in the West and they decide to play. If my kids are born here, if they decide to play for England, that's fine. But I spend a lot of money investing, in football boots. They do 2 different type of sports, and I make sure I invest a lot in terms of their education on an academic level. But if they decide to do that to spread their expertise over here, I'm not going to deny them that because that's their right. But however, it's your duty to come back to where your so-called ancestral home. Look how our black players are treated in the UK, for heaven's sake. I mean, we most of the black players who play for England, they're treated, terribly. At the moment, there's actually debate after England won their first game. Instead of the 2 black players that scored the goal, instead of just congratulating these guys, it was all over online if they're English or not English. It's like, come on, you can see why the spirit of these black players are so dampened down by all this rhetoric. That's the anti, immigrant rhetoric that they're passing on. I mean, our black players missed penalty after they brought the UK, England to 2 finals, and semi to the World Cup. That never happened since what goes back to the 60s or God knows, over 30 years ago, right? And instead of having to, congratulate these guys for what they're doing, there was racism. There people were attacked and beaten up and stuff like that. It's like, come on, man.
Let me say this
have a bit of
quickly.
pride
Right?
in you. Have a bit of pride. That's all I got to say.
So these academies actually invest sometimes millions of dollars in these players from their, from like 4 years old all the way to like 18 when they become, senior first team players. So when people say it's the other way around, that the European countries benefit more from the African players, there are a lot of players who go through academies who they pay for their schooling, they pay for their equipment, they pay for their training and nutrition. And sometimes they don't really make it to the level or the height. And those academies lose money on those players. So it's an investment. It's years worth of investment that these, academies put into these African players. And a lot of them who were born in these countries, they realize that their club teams, the actual money that they make playing for club teams, are tied to the national teams that you play for. If somebody says I play for Liberia and somebody say I play for, the United States or even England, the club teams will probably regard you in a higher standard because you play for a greater national team, and probably bigger teams will want to sign you. That's some of the things that go into the decision making. If I can play for my African country or play for a European giant, I play for the European giant because I'm going to get better offers to make more money playing for a highly regarded club team.
Hey, let me
You
ask you
make
this
money.
question, Elvis.
You make money.
Exactly.
You make more money playing for
Let me
your.
ask Elvis
Yeah,
a
you play.
question.
Sorry, you make more money playing for the club than your country. The players that are playing for their country, there is peanuts compared to what they're getting paid for
Hey,
their
No, I'm
Elvis.
club.
saying club teams consider your national team when they're signing you.
Let me ask this guy Elvis a
That's not for
question.
European countries.
So as far as a solution, do you think
Yeah, go on.
Africans should ever go back to their countries, or do you think they should work to pay off that debt, the national debt that their countries owe? Because if you think about it, most of these countries, half of their revenue goes to paying off debt. Like, how can you ever build anything?
Yeah, I know you went and looked it up, but that's not the conversation today, brother. We're not.
As far as like, why is the Africans?
I don't know, but I don't have the answer. We're not fighting today. We're just talking about sports.
Like, what is the solution? Like, are you ever going back?
I don't know the answer to your question, brother.
Talk to me.
I don't know the answer to your question.
Hey guys, I gotta pass the mic to Kidola. Go ahead, Kidola.
Are you ever going back?
Oh yeah, thank you, Dennis. I don't understand that guy say if they ever going back. You see, look, some of these boys you're seeing, if they play for their country or they play, if they're not citizen of some of this country, let's say like we kind of came to England, kind of come all the way from Africa to play in England. Some of these like people like George Weah that play somewhere else is not the way you think that some of these boys are thinking in Europe. They be paid if you're able to look. If you live in some of these countries, this thing started when these kids are about 4 years, 5 years, 6 years. They start training them up. By their parents taking them to this public fee, close by school sports center. From there, they start playing from junior, something under 10 to under 12, under 12-1, under 12-2. If you're very good, you play under 12-1. If you're not too good like that, they train to under 12-2. They bring up like that, And if they're citizen of these countries, sure, they will represent this country. They're not going to represent where their father or where their mom is from originally, because that's where the money is, and that's where they will easily be seen, and everything. So, African children, descendants, been playing for, especially like France, that you can see a whole team, might be only one white guy there, just because this will take them out of poverty. These guys are being paid multi-million. Some of them receive up to about 15 million a year. By playing soccer. Some of them 20 million a year. So if this take their parents out of poverty, they're going to be there and make sure they settle their family where the family is coming from. And just like Black Americans who play basketball. They're not so that they're rich like that until they start playing big time. So, yes, it's a problem of Africa because these guys will be very good in Africa. But Africa also have, millions of youth that can also represent them. But what I see here is the disrespect, especially from this England or UK or England team. If they play where they praise them, if they don't play where they, bully them, call them all kind of, the animal that jump from tree to tree, and call them all kind of these names also, and that's the only thing that irritates Africans from it. But is that what will take them back to where they're coming from? I don't think so, because the money just too great. They have already destroyed most Africa clubs even. Place like country like Nigeria, when I was growing up, we used to have our own national team, our own football club. They buy some franchise, buy some this, buy some that, buy some that. Now, Nigerian person talking about Chelsea. Oh, I'm an Arsenal fan. I'm that fan. When I used to grow up, we used to have New Nigeria Bank, bed insurance, on weekend, everybody's job. But these people come systematically by their agent company who come straight to sponsor this club. These clubs are, destroy the club and make them like nonsense. That's the only thing that I regret actually, or I didn't like, that some of all these countries you see in Africa, especially West Africa, that we don't even represent our clubs anymore. Rather, we represent a European club like Chelsea, Arsenal, far away. It's like what they did to the politician bringing money in. Now the ordinary citizens are now loving European club. But if you check the people they don't actually, they don't love Africans like that. That's that's the only thing. It's different from their club. If I look at France, I'm like, wow. Look at England, wow. These are all African descendants. But it's not gonna. I hope things change, but it's a money-making machine, and it's an entertainment where there's money. Bullshit can, you don't listen to bullshit. Even when they call your kind of names, you still be there. That's just what I see.
Proud Americans, did you know that we are one of the best at soccer as well here in the United States? Are you aware? Are you aware that Brittany Renner is a wizard at soccer? She actually is a wizard at soccer.
Why is
she could have done so many different things, just like the man in the high castle. However, today is the time. Time is the essence. We should get our children more and more into soccer, because when the USA wins the World Cup, it's going to be so expensive for these soccer camps. The price is going to go up. So get ready. And soccer plus the MMA is going to eclipse Major League Baseball by the end of the year 2027. We should get ready right now. I've never been a fan of the NFL at all, nor the NBA. There's something about it. But I love contact sports. I love boxing. I love fighting. I love soccer. And I love money. So pay attention to details, Americans. We are the best. Don't let these Africans trick you out of your seat at the table. Just because they're terrible with their money doesn't mean that's our case. We are the greatest.
Can I interject, Mr. High Castle?
Full-blood Americans, proud Americans, hear me.
Let me interject real quick, and I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you for the opportunity to talk, host. But I think I see opportunity in Africa as far as their debt. And I think us in America should work something out as far as acquiring some of that debt, because we could acquire land. That's basically what Thomas Jefferson did with Napoleon when they lost to Haiti. He was able to purchase Louisiana for $13-14 million. So we could purchase land in Africa, and we could get them out of debt, help or partner with them with that debt, because obviously the African diaspora, they're not really concerned about taking care of their national debt. They just want to flee to Europe and play sports. And like Elvis, he want to come to America and live his life. He's not thinking about taking care of his country's responsibility.
Can I say one thing? You don't need to buy land. You don't need to buy land.
You say what?
You don't need to buy land. You already have a land. Someone need to mute. That's terrible.
I was saying, as far as I was looking at some of these numbers, a 20% interest rate on a car note is high. They got 20% interest rate on this billions of dollars. Do you know how much money that is? You just paying for no reason. I think that should be the African people's biggest concern, is taking care of this debt. And I think that's some leverage that us in America
should be focused on. Liberia is yours. Go and take it back.
There's still 250,000 Black Americans in Liberia. I looked it up, but they call them Congo people. They don't even call them America, but they still got people there. But as far as Liberia has a debt too, like most of these countries are in deep debt with the IMF and the World Bank.
One second.
Hey, hold on. Hey, Kunta, something's wrong with your line, Kunta.
Yes, please. Yeah, you need to mute. When the election comes, when election is coming next in Liberia, all the African American diaspora, the American Liberians need to do is work with you guys. Yeah, have enough put money aside and spend enough money on your candidate. I guarantee you win and you take the country back.
That is possible. But I think we should focus on, I was looking up the numbers. I was just researching it because this show is so incredible to me, because it deals with issues, global issues and solutions, right? So it causes me to look up things and learn. So when I look these numbers up, they have nonprofit NGOs that's acquiring African nations' debt and restructuring the debt in exchange for vast swaths of land, environmental land, and under the auspices of environmental protection, but they're getting millions of miles of land off of restructuring African debt. And I think that's a avenue that we can tackle because collectively we have lots of money. We can do that, but a lot of times these discussions never come up. And if it wasn't for me listening to this show, I would have never in a million years thought of this. So I'm grateful for that. But I don't mean to disrespect when I was interjecting. It's just that when I hear somebody just babbling, it's like, even though it's not my show, it's not my place to say that. So I'll try not to do that no more.
Can I ask him a question, please? I just need.
No, but your mic is terrible.
Kunta, you need to call it on a different device. It's just the static is too much, Kunta. Let me pass it to Super African. Go ahead, Super African.
Stay on them. Stay on. Yeah.
Everybody. Dennis, how you doing? Just a quick correction. Yesterday, what I said about the British Parliament, I was absolutely right. But anyway, because some people think I don't do my homework before I speak. I have history on the shows of being correct. Histories on the shows when it comes to Donald Trump.
Fine. There has never been any other party that ruled England except the Labour and the Conservative.
You look at the people in the parliament over there. How many parties? Come from?
There are other parties. You can form a party in America, but the success rate is very small. But you can form one, but they never ruled the country. That's the point I was making.
Okay. Let me get to the show right here because obviously I was 100% correct because
your mic is low, sir.
My bad. I'm on this.
No, it's fine. You can hear you. You can hear.
Yeah, I'm cheap. I don't buy phones like that. I usually use my phone for like 4 years. But anyway, this thing about Africa, fleeing, trying to play sports in all these other countries, right? I look at it the opposite way. Why? Because Africans always complain and say, which is, to a certain extent, they're right. Oh, the white man always, come and take our resources away, right? Always constantly trying to take our resources away. We should stop them. Now, let's reverse it around, right? If an African was born in one of these European countries, right? Or let's just say they came there very young, right? And then went to a soccer academy or whatever it is, right? And then they become real good. Or their parents was born in one of these European countries as well. And then they became real good, right? And then the FA, the governing body of that particular African country comes out later on when you're about 20 years old or 23 years old, you become real good, right? Or whatever it is, right? And then the FA of that country reach out to you and say, sir, come and represent, your country, your mother country, your parents' countries and stuff like that, right? And then the kid there reject and says, no, I'm not doing it. And then the FA goes and complains and say, oh, how come these Africans are not, representing their parents' country and stuff like that. I look at it the same way when Africans say, oh, the white man is coming to take our resource. Because that African guy that became real good playing soccer, right? Why? It's because of the infrastructure the white man built in his country. So that infrastructure made sure that kid became good. So that FA or that individual that's responsible in his own country to make sure at least responsible infrastructure there for them to, create good players. They don't do that though. What they do is now they keep the money and buy stupid ass G-Wagon, Mercedes-Benz and all that, right? And build expensive houses and have multiple houses in these European countries, right? But then when this kid becomes real good in another man country, because that country made sure that kid become good. Because without the infrastructure, that kid would never be good. Because if that same kid was in Africa, the likelihood is very, very tiny. But then the African leader wants to just come and grab him and steal it. So it's basically the same way. You're trying to steal the white man resource. You're trying to steal the white man resource. There was a guy in what this country? Ghana, right? He was born in England. When he was born in England, you had the people in you had the guy that was trying to he had a choice. It was either England or Ghana, right? I think he came up through the United Academy. The British wanted him as well, right? And then the Ghanaian FA, which is the governing body of soccer, right, came out publicly and said, oh, he was disappointed because the kid did not choose Ghana. Because Ghana is his parents' country and all this blah, blah, blah garbage, right? And then after that, the interviewer asked him on Sky News, are you I mean, are you disappointed? And then the guy responds, say yes. And then he gave an example of the last 2 World Cup. He said when he saw the French team won the World Cup, right? It was all Africans that won the World Cup. But then fast forward fast forward 8 years ago. So if it was all Africans that won the World Cup, how come when you were 30 of the same FA, you can't even build a decent infrastructure? You can't even build a decent, infrastructure where these kids could take advantage of it. But then you want to go steal the white man resource. You want to go steal the white man creativity. That's what I don't get about these people, though. It is the same exact thing. They want to take credit of something they did not help build. Stop stealing the white man players. Stop stealing the white man resource. Build your own academy in your countries. Build respectful infrastructure where these kids could at least take advantage of it. Because if you look at it, right, there's millions of these kids in Ghana that could have been just as good as that other guy. But then these so-called democracy guys, what they do is buy G-Wagons, buy Mercedes-Benz, buy build fancy houses, buy all these expensive jewelry for their girlfriends, all these other things, right? But then when this other kid becomes real good in another man country, in Europe, you want to come and steal it. You want to come and steal it. That is pitiful.
Young man, I don't know.
When you feel millions of Africans, when you feel millions of Africans making sure that you can't even build a respectful academy, a decent academy, you can't even build it.
Young man, you get it
I
wrong.
went to my country. No.
You're just babbling, sir, now.
Kidola,
Young man,
Kidola, let's be honest with ourselves. Anything that you put money and effort in, right? Good come out of it.
Young man, you get it wrong.
That you put, how am
We're
I
free
wrong?
market. Hold on.
Sir, you don't even know about the sports.
Hold on, young man. Hold on, young man. We're free market. Hold on, we're free market with existing World Cup capitalist, right?
Let me finish real quick, Kadola. Let me finish real quick, right? Please, I beg you. France produced so much elite players, right? So much. When you look at Senegalese team, right? Especially the last 8 years now, when they went to like 2 World Cup and then so-called win the Africa Cup of Nations, right? And then went farther to other tournaments, right? Do you guys realize half of those players, they were born in France? Do you know why they represent Senegal? It's because the French football system, right? They produce so much great African players. They gave us leftovers. That's why you see those guys represent France. I mean, represent Senegal. Because France was like, you know what? Take our trash. Just take our trash. Take our trash. We're going to get the best players and then the elite players. Take our trash. I mean, I am tired of these African FA. I've seen one in my own country. In my own country, I saw the guy. Guess what he was with? He had 2 chicks next to him. 2 on his left, 2 on his right. And he had his bodyguard. I looked at that guy. I said,
but let me people there, left me country, but they are left for country.
Okay. But anyway, it is sad when grown men and grown women that are in position of authority, right? At least build decent academy, build decent things where at least these kids can at least improve their skills, so then eventually they could become more good and much better, so that they can represent their country. But stop trying to steal the white man talents.
Make Ola interject.
Young man, let me tell you this. When they start freeing the market, right, inside late 80s to early 90s, sport was not exempted for that free market process. Even country like Cameroon was even having one of the most powerful teams that some African countries also going there to play. Africans were mostly rotating African players also in their club side. People like Roger Miller didn't have access to European club. They were playing in their own countries. You have to understand what they did, right? They start allowed that if you can come and nationalize that represent a country, right? Maybe England or everything. Even in England, they were even not allowing African descendants to play in their national team. I think the first one was even one guy like that, one black guy, I think have a Caribbean descent or something like that. The other ones, even with your mixed race, you have to go and represent your father country where your father is coming from. And people like that brought people like them. hold on. So no, hold on. When all this started breaking down, right? Then they start not going after the clubs now. And you know, these clubs also be sponsored by companies and all kind of things also. So what they were doing, they would buy that company, right? And some of these companies are like cigarette company. Some of them also like brick company, like beer. You know, they're not come people like the Henneken. If you think Henneken just came to be selling their drinks in Africa just like that, no. All these companies like cigarette, Marlboro, St. Maurice. Look, that's how the whole thing started coming. Then
Anderson. With Anderson,
yeah,
the first black player.
He's the first black player, right? So hold on.
Lameland, you can come back, man. Lameland,
no,
you
let
come
me tell
back.
you.
Why are you guys crying so much? You're stealing from the white man. You're going to get yourselves in trouble. This is exactly how come you shouldn't had any type of reparations committee. Proud Americans, do you see them babbling and making excuses because they won't pull themselves up by the bootstrap? Their infrastructure is built on lies and deceit.
No, we're just telling you as it is.
They're trying to guilt trip everybody. Is this the Pan-African way?
So, my brother,
it doesn't make dollars and cents.
You see things. I don't know when you be. I didn't know when you be born. I don't know when you be born.
Fire emojis in the chat if you agree with me.
You see things from when things have already been destroyed. I was born. I see things are 80s, right? I was already. Hold on. I see as a little boy, we used to job. Before you know, they start bringing some mistress kids who could not play in England. People like the John Orlando to be playing for Nigeria. You understand? Then from that, when they see these guys already going to Nigeria, it's a brainwalk. You tell them they come to austerity. That's how they destroy that.
You weren't kidnapped, sir.
No.
No one forced you to leave your homeland and work for another country.
Stop interrupting.
Hold on. Let me address this guy. High Castle, if you take something inside your room, take it very well, because it seems like you people that came from United States, you people are like dumbass. You people talk without no sense. You be screaming your voice out for nothing.
But I never left the United States. This is my ancestral homeland, sir.
I don't give a damn.
This I love.
I don't give a damn.
You don't love your country like how I do.
You are not the owner.
It's the blood, sweat, and tears of the ancestors.
You are not the owner of United States. Italian can claim United States as their ancestral home.
I'm American.
Arab can claim United States as their ancestral home.
I'm American, sir.
You know, I don't give a damn if you're American. That's got nothing to do with me, because the other Jamaicans who come to claim United States.
American money. You want these Yankee dollars, though. That's what you lust for.
Who wants your dollars? Hold on. Who wants your dollars? You think everybody?
Hold on. Let me respond. Let me say something real quick, right? Look at black folks in America, right? When they used to have their own national.
We still do. Cut it out.
Just 1 second.
Man, and I can't wait, man. Wait. Yeah,
we're less public about it. We're more private about it.
Okay. You understand me, right? When the white folks in America did not want to, play with them together, it's like nah. When they realized, oh, the black man in America is very athletic, right? What they did was they said, okay, well, now you could come and play with us, right? And everything, and fast forward, right? Now look at
babbling.
Now look at
I hear the stuttering in your voice. Live chat, do you hear the visible detection of stuttering in his voice?
Just let the conversation flow, man. Go on.
You too mature sometimes.
He trembling visibly.
No, but man, I can't. Come on, man. Grow up.
Now Kedona wants to bring up the 80s and stuff like that, right? When the white folks did not want Africans to play with them and stuff like that, because at that particular time, the white man did not need your talent. When the white man discovered that you could be real good at that sports, right? They then decided, you know what? We could slowly bring them in our team and become good. You understand me, right? So all I'm saying is this, right?
When he say the 80s.
I know, it's like that's 40-something years ago, bro.
No.
Bro,
integration, the color barrier was broken with Jackie Robinson. I think that was like what, the 50s, 60s?
Yeah, around that time.
Hold on. Let me clear my thoughts, please, right?
No, we're talking about football.
And who was the dude who was really supposed to be the Jackie Robinson? I forgot.
Yo, can
yeah, but land because you hold him out. Land. Let him land. Yeah.
So basically, when they realized, oh, these people could be real good, right? we could just use them in in some of our teams and stuff like that, right? The thing is this: the '80s compared to now, the early 2000s, it's two different things. It's two different things. If you are an FA, right, for your country, you saw how France dominated the World Cup with people that look like you and have the same last name as you. That was 8 years ago. You still can't even close like at least 30% of the gap. 30% of the gap. You can't even close 30% of the gap when it comes to infrastructure in your own country.
Sir, build your own leagues.
You don't want to.
Proud Americans, if you want to invest in a soccer team right now, there's a soccer club called Beara, ticker symbol SLMT.
Okay.
It's a Solana-based treasury. I'm not suggesting it, but keep your eye on it.
Yeah, I mean, what I agree. The one
Beara
point
is an Italian club.
One point all I made that is valid. That the money went into football quite a while ago, and when that big money went in, that's when it was a free market. And once it's a free market, it's very difficult to pin down, unless if you have like a really strong patriotic nation. And obviously, you would know for a fact you need to give a population something to be patriotic about. So we don't have that in Africa. This is one of the problems, and so that's the reason why. And you also made some valid points. But Senegal may have good players in the last few years because leftovers, from France. That makes sense because there's so many. France is a melting pot of Africans in Europe. I mean, we have in the UK, it's a melting pot of Caribbean. 1 second, Bar. You see that? You can't let me finish.
It is the same DNA. Why can't we at least produce enough players in our own goddamn land?
No, but I'm not denying none of that. I don't know why you trying to. I'm not trying to. I'm not.
Wow, what's going on with your phone, bro? Get him off the show.
I think. I think my guy.
I can't stand that.
Guy, you're getting it wrong, guy. You're getting it wrong.
Let's look at other leagues, right? In other countries, right? That are not from the Europe, right? The quality is not there. You understand? The quality is not there, right? But at least.
But Europe is just a center for football today now because of the money.
No,
as what Kidola was saying, is the multinational corporations have decided.
That's my point.
Okay.
That's not my point. I'm trying to say. You don't have to.
Okay. Sorry.
When it comes to national leagues, you don't have to. But what you could do is this: you could compete with them when it comes to academy. So then, when the kid is like 16 years old, 17 years old now, they could go to Europe and then become much more better. But since they were grow, I mean, you know what I'm saying? When they were younger, they started playing football in their own country. So at the same time,
I mean, yeah.
So they can play more competitive players. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
After
you
5
need.
years
Yeah.
now,
Hey, man. You know what, man? Y'all can't see the forest for the trees, man.
No, that makes sense. I agree with that. Yeah, go on.
I was researching this because this is. Go ahead.
It's money. Where there's big money. I think this my young man is getting it wrong. Where there's investment, right? Where there's investment, where there's investment somewhere. With investment somewhere, these boys, because they have opportunity, because if they would tell them, let's assume you live in England, right?
Let me ask you a question.
Hold on. You live in England, you already have a good network of advertisement, all kind of companies coming around you.
Situational examples, man. Let me ask you a question. What happens if a country don't pay its national debt? What happens?
What do you mean by if don't pay national debt?
If they decide not to pay their national debt, what happens?
Okay. Now I want to
tell me what happens.
You don't control the World Bank, man.
But tell me what happens when that happens.
Just answer the question. That's a good question.
What happens if you don't pay your debt? What happens?
Hold on. Let me link up.
Hold on. Let me making excuses.
Hold on. Let me link spot. Hold on, bro. Let me link spot into marketing with you now. What's you call currency now? Borrow for IMF and everything. When IMF started, hold on. When IMF started coming in 80s, right? They start deceiving countries. Oh, you need money. You need to rule austerity. You need to do.
Let me answer the question.
Hold on.
You just go into a real long diatribe for something simple.
Look, they will overthrow you. They will overthrow you if you receive to stop. If you stop borrowing money for IMF with America control,
I'm not saying
and
not
World
borrow
Bank,
if you don't pay your premium.
I don't know what to. No,
you don't have a pot to piss him nor a window to throw it out of.
What you gonna happen is you don't have the answer. You don't have the answer. Let me answer it. You don't have the answer. Let me answer it.
Hold on. Hold on.
You don't have the answer because you go to a long line.
Let him answer.
Hold on. I don't understand this guy. Before I start asking you this question, I want to know what is your discipline and what university do you went to before I started dealing with you people, because it seems like some of you people, man, you people just want to say it to these people and everything.
It's a simple answer.
My head of state, my own country head of state, Abacha was being in a way assassinated with poison because he refused to borrow money from IMF.
Nobody's asking you that, man. I'll ask you what happens if you don't pay your debt.
Don't come here. Don't come here asking me if your country default.
Because America don't
IMF is being used as a weapon, is some form of weapon in Africa.
Look, IMF comes after they come in to help you get back on point. They come in after the damage been done. What happens is, just like with Germany after World War I, you print barrels of money, your economy crashes. Your value to the American dollar is pennies to the dollar. That's what happens. Just like Ghana's dollar is like 11 cents compared to the American dollar. The value of your dollar is dropped. Your credit rating goes down. You don't have access to the money markets. You can't import because it's too expensive, because you got to import everything in American dollars. If your dollar is 10 cents compared to American dollar, that means you got to pay $100 for something that costs $10. Your economy crashes. So what they do is, in order to prevent that, they got to make these extremely high interest payments every quarter, which is in the billions of dollars. Because if they don't, their economy gonna crash worse. That's why they don't have any money for development. They don't have any money for anything because they stuck in this debt.
Hold on, this is simple. What you explain now, this is simple explanation you give now. But they also a politics on that. They also a policy on that.
That's why they don't have the money for development, because they stuck paying all this debt.
What happened to that? What happened to Dangote? What the World Bank was trying to bring to Dangote? Oh, what did they talk to Dangote?
Look,
why are you selling all
your IMF come to save you? That means you already squandered the money. You done brought the leaders done squandered the debt and borrowed all this money from China, America. The IMF coming to get you back on point. That's what when they came, that means you already screwed. If you already getting IMF loans, that means you done already.
The white man in the hood come to save you.
So Africans need to worry about getting their debt on point. Once they get their debt on point, all that extra money,
in the Caribbean,
all the billions. The Caribbean is worse than Africa. They got a worse debt than Africa. But once they get their debt on point, all that extra interest payments you making every quarter, you could put that into your people, put that in schools, put that in infrastructure.
Can I ask you something, right? Since you're very proud Black American and everything. Can you show me the supermarket that you are running for over 400 years, you for being in the United States?
Black Wall Street.
No, hold on, forget those are past. What you show me, if I come to United States, right, then I'm with you.
The only sovereign country that we ever controlled in the modern world was Liberia, and they took that from us.
Oh, because I see where you put bullying and coming from.
The only sovereign debt that we had was Liberia. They took that. We don't have a sovereign debt.
Hold on. You've been United States for 400 years, right?
Knock this one out the park.
In terms of Liberia, I know this.
We had sovereign debt when we had Liberia, but we don't have sovereign debt anymore.
You're not African. You're not African.
I think you Africans think you one of us.
Bang.
You'll never be
what does being African got to do with anything? The people that lend you the money is not African either.
You've never fought for your
IMF and the World Bank is not controlled by Africans.
You've never bust gunshots. You've never shot cannonballs for your independence.
This is why you want to start bullying up. This is why you want to start bullying Africans. I can also
respected you.
Hold on, I want to see you be there for 400 years, right?
Shit.
And
all these hyenas at the World Cup, they licking their lips. They gonna get one of you goofy ass Africans.
Hold on. You be there for 400 years, right? I can come to United States. I
Sir,
can go to
longer
Polish.
than 400 years.
I
My
can go.
people never
Okay,
left
I
this
can go
country.
to.
Man of High
Already
Castle,
been
let
here.
him talk real quick. What you talking about?
I can
Yeah,
go
let
to
me
Polish.
You
I
can't
can go to.
compare me to you,
Hold on.
sir. You just
I can
came
go
out
to
from mud huts
Polish.
50 years
I'm
ago,
not
60
really
years
trying to be
ago.
into doing the dozens though.
I can go to a Polish supermarket. I can go to Polish supermarket. I can go to Polish
You can
businesses.
go to a Polish supermarket. That's what you said.
Even the Iranians, they even come to your country 50 to 60s. You know, those ones that
Sir, you grew up in a kingdom,
What point are you trying to
of
hold on?
and mud.
High Castle, hold on.
Can you
What point are
show
you trying to
me?
make?
Can you show me any businesses, domestic businesses that service your people, the food they're eating, what the clothes they're buying? It's not about buying somebody white man clothes. And say, oh, I wear the T-shirt, it's mine now. So
Sir, I'm not tripping on Mr. Charlie. You are. You got Mr. Charlie all up in your mouth.
Hold on. You don't got a pot to
Mr.
piss
Charlie,
on.
right now on one of your beaches in Senegal, walking hand in hand with
You
a
don't have
little
a
kid.
pot. Hold on, bro. You don't have a pot to piss on. So don't tell the Africans don't have a pot to piss on because you've been there for 400 years.
Cadola,
That's
that's your name.
tattoo right now for just speaking. You're taking up all my free,
Even the South African man, even the white man for South Africa that came into the 70s because the richest man in the United States, and you've been there for 400 years, you cannot achieve nothing. It's out to roast and bully people you could know. Please go and clean your ass good, bro. Clean your ass pretty good.
Let me answer that though. Let me answer that. Now, when I was talking about Africa, I was specifically talking about different countries. There's no country called Africa. Like when the guy earlier talked about Morocco, and then Elvis came in talking about forget Morocco. Haiti is more African than Morocco. So we're talking about specific countries. We're not talking about Africa as a whole. And the two countries I referenced particularly was Liberia, and the other one I was like indirectly talking about Ghana and Nigeria.
Let's stick to
the GDP of Ghana and Nigeria, and they're extremely high debt.
Let's stick to the.
So you talking about us in America?
Let's stick to the.
We don't have sovereign debt. Hold on. I'm answering this, Cadola. We don't have sovereign debt in America, but we had sovereign debt in Liberia, where they did a coup d'etat with Samuel Doe, and they took the country from us. So they took out. They have the sovereign debt now.
Took what country, sir? Stop.
They took Liberia from the American Liberians. That was a sovereign nation. They had sovereign debt.
But your people are listen. Bang, wait.
We ain't talking about 400 years. What they got to do with anything? We ain't talking about the Iranian open up a corner store. What is that? That's not sovereign debt. That's not the IMF not going to bail you out if you got a corner store. Talking about.
You can't be civil. No, but listen. You can't be civil. No, but see,
Can I
just say one thing? Can I just say one thing?
Gotta stop.
You find lot of allies, right? If African Americans want to go back to rebuild Liberia and work with the local people,
no, we don't.
People of Liberia and build Liberia 100%.
I want y'all to be well in your own
Liberia has a lot of
take
debt
care of your children.
If you have a bad intention of being there, thinking you could, if you have a bad intention of that, then definitely not. The reason why I am saying this, the Africans in the continent, Africans in the diaspora, African Americans or FBA, we need to stop this divisive conversation, man.
We're not the same, sir.
We need to stop this.
Can we just be honest? We're not the same.
I'm not saying we are the same or we are not the same, but just stop the divisive
That's the first step.
If you're gonna have this
regardless
conversation,
if a person is the same or not, we talking about money. We talking about economics.
Yeah.
How am I going to do business with someone who's in debt?
So what are you going?
That's what I'm saying. That's our leverage.
What are you talking about? Get your goofy ass off this panel.
What you should be talking about? If it comes down to this thing, if it comes down to the money, what African Americans should be talking about as the majority black group in America is how
you think I want to be like Tony Soprano over you all my life.
Too emotional right now. Anybody
overcharging you for your debt.
Nobody's dealing with emotions right now.
I'm sick and tired of this. I want to see y'all just
have economic power
do your own thing.
And
nobody's dealing with emotions
It's
right
called
now.
delineation. No more. No more. You have to go on your own way.
And oh, this guy, man. Come on, man. How Africans should have economic power and, financial power.
You don't know what power is. You don't even respect yourself, and you don't
Man,
know
you
what
too
money
emotional
is.
right now, man. Just be
Oh,
objective
man.
for 5 seconds.
Good.
You're talking Pan-African capitalism, but you don't
be
even
quiet a
realize
minute.
it.
Just be
All right,
quiet.
guys, I'm back.
I'm a Pan-African
I'm back.
No problem. I'm a Pan-African capitalist. I always been like that. I would never change it. I do not
I'm
support
glad you admit it.
socialism or communism.
Let's have a conversation
But,
on
yeah,
that. Pan-African
thank you.
capitalism.
But, yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna have that with you because the conversation it's not about that today. We can have that another day. But all I'm saying is let's
We're
African
gonna hear
American,
how
the majority of the
sinister
black.
you guys sound.
Okay,
All right, Council, you being too
You
emotional.
take, and expect not to
I
pay
want
back.
the
You sound like
African
Willie.
American brothers,
Hey, guys,
family.
one mic, please.
Thank you. I want the African Americans or the FBA or the Black Americans in the US. I really want you to have economic power and political power and have strong influence in that country called America and expand the foothold, to the ancestral land. Also, I want Africans in the continent to have the same economic power and political power because I don't think they really have that also. So we are both struggling with the same issue. But it's how we can rebuild that bridge that was broken, back in the days, is the question, is the conversation that we should be having when we come on this platform. When I come here and give history and give you information about certain things that happened in the past, I'm not doing it to, for the sake of division. It's to learn from what happened in the past so it doesn't happen again, and actually trying to build a new bridge so we can all walk in and actually have a strong foundation to stand on. That's the whole point. It's not about division. So please, I'm begging you, when you come here, Dinah's built a very great platform.
Let's have a conversation, just you and I. Real quick. All right.
Please, let's work on that.
I have a warehouse full of diabetic test strips. What are you offering so we can start popping? What do you got going on, sir, over the river, over the pond? See, what you got going on? Kick it to me.
Let's
one of the most
conversation.
One of the most
you don't even know how
things.
to handle a business conversation.
You just being
we
facetious.
will have that another time.
They're not savvy, y'all. Y'all not
the
savvy
hardest
with this
thing.
stuff.
The hardest thing to do
okay.
is to get
okay, that's your opinion.
Let me say one thing real quick. One of the hardest things to do is to get an honest assessment of your economic status right now. What is your debt to income ratio? How much you bringing in? How much you paying out in debt? You got to audit yourself and see exactly how much you making, how much you keeping a month. And I think that should be done as far as Africa, Black America, even on a personal level. And I kind of did that briefly with Africa, and I was astounded by how much they just paying out in just interest payments. Like, that seemed like the biggest problem on the continent, actually, the debt that they paying out. And I think if they tackle that, they might start seeing themselves grow with the infrastructure. And also, I think that's a avenue that we could actually approach with them because we have money, but Black Americans don't have as much debt. We have like mortgages, car notes, but as far as like sovereign debt, we don't have that. We have a lot of liquid assets. But I see Ghana and whatnot is trying to get access to that, but it should be more direct, and it should have a better understanding as far as why they're trying to access our money.
Man, let me say this, right? If you think Black people in America has more wealth than Africa,
the numbers say we do.
You are delusional.
You got to subtract.
And I would love to have that conversation we're having the other night where y'all denied about spending power is real. Because y'all,
hold on, guys, I'm talking one mic. It's not the case. Trust me.
Tell me why.
The amount of wealth that's just on that island alone, that Victoria Island alone in Africa, and it's just it's crazy.
But what do you mean the wealth? How do you tabulate that? How do you quantify it? Are you talking about the natural resource, or are you talking about what people have as far as per capita?
Both.
So you saying people per capita has enough money to tackle or to compete with us per capita as far as like liquid assets?
I know that's what this guy.
What do you mean? What do you mean liquid assets?
I mean, as far as like how much cash we have, like we have American dollars.
Black, we don't have cash like that. What do you
see that you're lying?
I'm saying what's the average median income This is over 30,000 per person. The average median income in Ghana is less than 3,000 per person.
No, but when you say cash, like I mean,
that's what I'm saying. We have cash.
We live on credit in America. And what are you talking about?
We have jobs. We make money.
Yeah, we live on
Thank
credit. We live on credit.
Let me ask you this: when you get paid, do you get paid in credit or cash?
I get paid in cash, but it goes to my mortgage.
Exactly, and what's left over? That's when we look at what's left over, and we can cut out non-essentials.
America is a credit-based system.
I'm talking about us as a people. Black people don't have sovereign debt.
My God. Oh my God.
We don't have sovereign debt. Like we have sovereign debt.
We're not a country. What are you talking about? That's what I mean.
That's our advantage. We don't have sovereign debt.
Black America is not a country.
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's our benefit, that we're not a country. We have access to trillions of dollars without having to be obligated to pay hundreds of billions a month.
We don't have
and see, you deny the spending power when it's a real thing.
That's exactly the problem
power in the United
with a
States.
sovereign nation,
what demographics
because they have every quarter they have to pay billions of dollars of payments to their national debt. Like Ghana and Nigeria, all these countries have to pay these money. If they don't pay this money, their economy gonna crash. Their credit rating gonna drop. We don't have that problem.
Yeah,
we have access to the money.
I can hear you, man. Yeah, go on.
Listen very well. These are the people that you
These African countries don't even have a Moody's rating.
I want people like Dennis in Africa. I want people like Carla in Africa. Not these two clowns, man.
It don't matter what you want. The debt is there. Like, what are you talking about? Your want is not going to get rid of the debt.
I have diamonds. I have oil. Come on, man.
They have mortgage debt. Like your leaders mortgage, your resources, they use it as collateral.
That spending power is not a real thing.
These guys are on
you
a
can't
landing
shut
path.
me up on that, because it is a real thing.
Their opinion today is not permanent. It could shift one day. They are. I think they are. Charlie.
You take it to your village. Let them control your village. They will never control my village.
No, I'm not saying. I'm not asking.
You can travel so much. Nothing still.
Your village don't got no debt. It's a country.
I'm not asking anybody to control anything, but you cannot write a man off based on their current situation.
That's why I said people like Dynas and people like Carla.
Of course, Dynas is a leader. He got leader mindset also.
I thought he's a prince. He need to take control of Nigeria. Take control of take control of that country and then get their economics on point.
Let's take it one time at a time. Look, my guy. I think we don't need to start screaming. I think what is going on here is
if you don't put down that socialism, you're over with.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. We don't need to insult each other. You don't need to insult each other before we start explaining things to each other. I think what I'm asking here is hold on. Look, what you see here is the level of hold on, bro.
But let him
we don't need to insult each other.
Yeah.
Let me explain. He explained his own part of everything. We have to explain our own part of it to him also. That's the way we have to explain. We don't need to insult each other because this was better than you. You are this, you are that. It doesn't help. Look, bro. Now, a country like Ghana or Nigeria, these are countries, right? People that live in these countries, they're not broke like that. Before you start to say you have liquid cash, okay. We have to see that first. Hold on. We have to see that first. But you have to understand most of the investment that's happening in Africa are also being done by the Africans, people themselves in these countries. You understand me? So don't use what you read. Don't use what you see. What you have
Where's
in TV.
the Baldwin Hills in Africa?
They want to project power like they're the white man. That's what they want.
Where's your Buckhead in Africa?
We still talking about the white man.
Look.
We talking about money, man. We talking about economics. We ain't talking about no white man.
Where's your real estate in Africa? Owned by y'all.
You cannot.
Bang. It's not only the black Americans that have this problem. Hold on, Bang. But look,
But he living in the
Bim,
United States, y'all.
Bim. It's not only the black. Bim.
The top 5 banks in this country.
Bim.
When
Look.
people want to buy a house, where do they go? They go to the white man and bow down.
He's still talking about a white man. He crazy.
Hold on,
He's talking about money, man. We ain't talking about no white man.
Disrespecting Mr. Charlie like that, left and right. But if he was in front of your face, you would bow down and grovel, kiss his feet.
You need to.
Is their understanding of Africa.
It's not the same as you, man. That's what you got to understand. I agree with you. They're not the same.
But hold on. But understand the understand of Africa
from us every day.
Bim, the understand of Africa is very limited. You know, I've seen people also came from Curacao. I'm telling you now, these are not Black Americans now. I've been with people come from Suriname, you know, very close by. I've been with other islanders. Let's say descended from Africans also. They will tell you, oh, Africans are suffering, right? Then you look at them, you quiet. Oh, you are from Africa, you don't know much. Oh, you don't ever have houses in Africa. Good. When Nigeria started dating these women, right? Or Africa, like Ghana started dating them. Yeah, can you know my country? When they go over there, the Ghana guy that they met, possibility, they thought, oh, he's just an ordinary guy that just walking, doesn't have nothing. They start meeting, a whole street to be full of mansions, right? Then they go, wait, this Africa? They come, they drive around, know what they have in their mind, know what they're seeing anymore. That will tell you, you don't need to explain anything to them, let them come and see. You understand me? Were you rolling with the United States, the Bentleys, the Rolls Royce, the G-Wagons, all your top luxurious cars, all your super cars, everything? That's what so young boys are rolling with, who are doing what you call currency exchange, FedEx, and everything in Nigeria. Do you believe that they ever have what you call market in Nigeria? No, you don't believe that.
You just validated what I said. The reason they have this extremely high debt is because the African leadership has squandered the money on G-Wagons and Bentleys.
Hold on.
Instead of managing the fiscal responsibilities.
In your mind, what you have is, man, they're broke. You see, that's why I like the white women.
Name one African country that's not in debt.
We talking about debt, exactly. We're not talking about being broke. You have a responsibility to the debt.
Hold on. Is United States not Is United States not in debt?
What?
Is United States not in debt?
African country
is America not in debt? Hold on. Is America not in debt?
54 countries. What country is not in debt?
The Americans are
the point.
See,
the Chinese,
I'm asking a specific question. Just name one.
That's not
There's
an
52
equivalent
countries.
That's not the equivalent. That's not the equivalent assertion. Because America has a lot of industries to supplement the debt.
No, you're lying, man. You're lying.
So not one African country is debt free. That's what you're saying.
Hold on, man.
Thank you.
Donald Trump sent his secretary of what they call economists or treasury to be begging the Chinese, please don't sell the treasury. Don't sell it because you're going to put us in problem. America have a very huge debt.
You got to understand. Look at the industries that Ghana control. It's more service. It's more debt. It's more mineral resources. Like you have a limited amount of ways to bring in the money. We have like unlimited assets. We have unlimited ways to generate income.
Who tell you that?
We have finance. We have service industry, hotels. We have a lot of ways to circulate money. Like our economy is flowing. Ghana only have a few things. They have what? Minerals. They have service.
If I was to flee America, I would never become a coconut picker out there in Africa.
We have transportation. We have oil, energy.
I'd be an English school teacher overnight.
You
and make way more money than you would.
You, right? You.
If I want to buy a product that's in Africa right now, I could buy it cheaper here in the United States than in Africa.
Can you bring
because the dollar is more powerful than the African people's dollar?
Can I ask you?
Because their whole infrastructure is built on lies over there, and they just need to be honest.
Mr. Castro, I know you're not driving Mercedes Benz. I know possibility you don't even have a car. I know you might have I know you might have
I
called
don't
20
want
years
a
old.
Mercedes Benz.
What does the Benz got to do with anything?
Well, men in the high castle, you should just let the man speak. Let the
I
man
want
speak.
Mr.
American
Akaso,
owned,
Mr.
American,
Akaso, Mr.
American,
Akaso,
American
so
owned
Mr. Akaso,
things.
in 5 years,
I
in
love
5
this
years, can you
country.
make, in 5 years, Mr. Akaso, can you save up to 500,000? I'm asking you
Sir,
that. In 5 years, can you save up to about 500,000 in 5 years? Can I
I
ask you that?
already am him.
Where can you bring up
That's the thing.
500,000?
I
Can you
already
bring up
am him.
500,000?
I
Cardola,
already am him,
Cardola,
sir.
what
So
currency
no,
are you
so
talking? Are you talking
Sir, I
Ghana
already am
money, or
him.
are you talking U.S. dollars?
Let's
US
talk
dollars,
about this.
What type of
US
currency are you
dollars,
talking about?
US
So
dollars,
500,
500,000 US dollars.
500 USD is over 5
Yeah.
million Ghanaian dollars.
No,
Sadly, we're doing this. Sadly, we're doing this again.
500 grand here in the United States is not going to buy my
Can
kid a
you
nice
It's about
nice
5
home.
million. It's
All right?
over 5 million.
Y'all bugging.
can you bring out
$5.5 million dollars in
can you
Ghana.
bring
It's
out $500 to
500,000.
buy a house? I'm asking you, can you even bring out $300,000 cash to buy a house?
But what
Cash.
that got to do with the national debt of
It's just
African
wild that
countries, though?
you don't know what you're talking about.
Don't talk.
You live in a
So
flat
don't
somewhere there
talk
in
big.
England,
So don't talk big.
and you're
Don't
probably
talk
being
big.
overcharged.
No, don't talk
Can I
big.
ask you a
Don't talk
question?
big.
Go ahead.
Don't talk big.
If I may, I mean, you know, you keep bringing up the debts, but if you're, for example, if you were, let me say, you are in Liberia now, or you have influence in, you know, who run Liberia, you know, and with their current debt situation, what would you do, you know, as a leader, you know, of Liberia, knowing the history and what they've been through during the war?
I will tell you.
You know,
sell the debt.
Okay. Hold on. What I would do is, you can't sell your national IMF debt. You got to deal
Yes,
with
you
it.
can.
You got to deal with it. But I would say this.
Yes, you
men in the high
can.
castle.
You
Men in
sound
the high
crazy as
castle.
hell now.
Men in the high
You
castle.
can't sell your sovereign debt like that. You can
You can sell
renegotiate
your
it.
debt.
But
Stop
what happens is the debt is sold by the IMF to what do you call it, non-governmental organizations to restructure with the country. What the country still got, it's like refinancing a student loan. You still got to do it with a lower interest rate, but they have certain provisions why they do that. But you still got to pay that debt. Like it ain't like it's gone from you. It's still your responsibility unless somebody else pay it off for you. You know, anybody can pay a debt off for you, but it has to be paid off. But I would say, you asked me, what would I do if I was in charge of Liberia to help the economy? I would throw concerts like they say when Kanye West was in Turkey, he improved the economy by 100%. So I would tap in things that we know, like entertainment. I would probably shoot some movies or, open up some, invite industries that I know would be successful. But that's a serious question, though. But I know overnight, like a person like that, driving so much traffic, so much tourism, what he did when he was in Europe, like he done brought billions of dollars just by doing concerts. I don't understand why
If you want
African
to get out
nations
of
don't.
debt in your African countries, got to go to war.
Let the
I mean,
Military.
you don't have to go to war. Like China didn't go to war; they got out of debt. Like China became a superpower without going to war.
That sells.
But
Uncle
there's certain
Sam is
things
one of the
you can
greatest
tap into
military recruiters in the
we can
world.
tap into our leverage, like Black American leverage.
Dude, you're
is
talking
highly,
nonsense right now.
It's
so how are you gonna go about paying that debt?
It's just
And,
like
I mean,
South Africa. If they would just only just
how
pressure
you gonna do that?
You gotta stimulate the economy.
It's like one of the Sahel countries. If they only pressured one of the other Sahel countries, oh my lord, there you go.
Look, you can invite international tourism. It's a lot. It's several things you can do. If you had a think tank, like right now, you asking me on the spot, what would you do? But I would say entertainment will probably be.
Thank you, M.
Entertainment.
Like when Kanye just did his concert when he was in Turkey. When he was in Turkey, they say the economy went up 100% just
No
by
one
him
look
being
up to
there.
Kanye West like that, bro.
One
Stop
mic.
that. I'm not gonna
You
sell
think
them
the
poison like
entertainment
that.
industry
Stop
will
that.
help pay the debt?
I'm not gonna sell them poison like that.
But I'm saying, like, our entertainment produces billions of dollars, trillions of dollars annually.
Kanye West is a lunatic.
That was just an example. Like he was able to stimulate the local economy
You see
in
what
those
happened with
countries
his whole
just by
economic
him
stuff.
being there. It caused the economy
Right.
to go up 100%. Like stuff like that is a proven method or a metric.
Yeah. They don't have that going on over there, sir.
They don't really. The African countries don't really leverage our influence like they should.
Weapons, war.
Why do you, why
That's the
must you
one thing they
accept
can do.
I mean, I disagree, but that's your opinion.
Just
why
like
must
look,
you
just like how the
let's
greatest president in the
yeah.
world
I
right
mean,
now,
High
Donald J.
Council
I mean,
Trump,
one mic,
when he went over
Yeah,
to
men in the High
Venezuela,
Council, men in
what
the
he
High
do?
Council, men in the High
Took
Council.
over
he just
all the
You are
antagonizing.
oils.
speaking,
All right.
men in the High
What we
Council.
doing
You are
right
taking
now
over
with
people.
Iran? We taking all that.
He just
See,
antagonizing,
war
man. He just
works.
agitating.
Yeah,
And you see the
yeah.
20-year Treasury bond right now. It's green. It's green as hell, bro.
this
Y'all
guy?
don't even
This
understand.
guy.
War will get you out of
Hey,
this shit.
can you let what's his name?
You're scared.
Africa respond, Mr. High Castle?
Sure, sir.
Do you mind, please? Thank you. So, I mean, we already have entertainment industry in West Africa. Nollywood is one of the biggest in the world, like Nigeria, but Nigeria is still in debt. I mean, they recently have what they call Afrobeats, which is a big.
They don't have the impact
big,
of our superstars. They don't have the impact, the global
yeah,
impact.
they do have yeah, so they do
I
have
think Kanye was in Russia and he
big
was able to bring
artists.
in like billions of dollars, and they like wherever he
Look,
goes globally.
You can't. Okay, as I said,
Go
I
ahead,
don't
my
want to
fault.
tangle up.
But the
Sorry, I
one
don't
thing
want to
about
tangle up in
war,
that.
you don't want to end up like President Zelensky out there.
Okay, yeah. So I don't. So anyway, let's
But
focus
with
on the
war,
topic
your
of the day.
economy
But
starts thriving.
I would like to have that conversation with you another time.
It's the psychology
So
of
we can
war.
drill into it properly. But I think we got a new person on Brother Quincy. Let's let Quincy speak. Many Castle, stop interrupting, please.
Hey, what's going on? Hey, is this
We're good, thank you,
is
man.
it Africa? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, is this Africa that I was on with a couple of days ago with
Yeah.
Jagoon?
Yeah, speaking, yes. Sir.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, hey, you're pretty cool, man. Hey, so real
Yeah,
quick, so y'all was talking about a lot, and I just jumped on. But to the topic itself, speaking about having a brain, was it athlete drain? Was that the topic? It was
Right.
yeah,
Yes.
athlete
Yes,
drain.
please.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
sir.
the first thing that came to mind, we talk, old boy was talking about Black Americans and entertainment and all of that stuff. I do think that Pan Africans and Africans should first and foremost focus on getting the Africans who leave the continent and go over to Western countries. The focus should be to get those people to come back home. Because I mean, as it stands right now, they sitting over in other countries bragging about their success, right? But that success is needed back home. It's needed back home. The doctors, the lawyers, I mean, taxi drivers, people flipping burgers, whatever you want to call it, from the bottom to the top, is needed back home. So I do think that instead of so much attention focused on I heard earlier about Black American entertainers and all of that stuff. No. Don't even mention Black Americans. We the little 3% that was dropped off, right? People always say only 3% was dropped off in the USA. Only 3%. We the little 3%. So why is so much focus on the little 3%? The main focus should be getting all the people who run away from Africa, who bounce, and I think they call them Japa in Nigeria. The Japas. All the people who running away from Africa. The main focus should be for your governments to create some initiatives, some programs that incentivize, your people to come back home and bring those talents back home. And I think if you all could get that, because you went out to the West, you went out to America. I mean, I've seen people over in Ireland, Australia, definitely in the UK. You got people dispersed all over the world, and if they could bring those talents and that knowledge and that wherewithal back home and use that to kind of build up your countries, I really do think that's the first move, and that should be the primary focus of any Africans, no matter where you're from, and the Pan Africans in America. I think everybody should just kind of take a pause, just, leave Black Americans alone and focus on those who actually really are real Africans. Not folks like me with African ancestry, but the real Africans straight from the continent who left to go and do whatever because the people ain't coming back home. And if they say they will, they lying. If they say they come back home, they lying. They lying. Hey, last thing, If they say they come back home,
Yeah.
they lying. And the reason why you know they lying is because anytime people actually go to another country and have kids, you know for a fact they are not coming back home. Not anytime soon. Now they might send their dead body back to the continent, but once they have kids and pop out babies in another country, or they cement it at least for a good little while, at least for another 30 years, and they're not coming back. So that's all I need to say.
Can I go after him,
Yeah, I
please?
mean, fair enough. Yeah, go on now.
Look,
Yeah,
I
let's be
think
respectful, please.
I think people are getting it wrong. Like, if Africans are really waiting for Black Americans to come and piece Africa up, I will give you an example, man. When I bought a land where I built my village house today, it was cheap. It was about 120,000 naira. Just by me alone, coming there, somebody that come from Europe at that time, I'm telling you, this was way back, 2000 at that time. I just came from, I came from Europe, right? I bought a land in a place that is not even not developed at all. When I built my house there, and then know, oh, this guy that have a house there came from Europe, and he have his house here. People started buying land there. Today, to buy land there now, you talk about millions of naira, just millions of naira. Something I bought it by 130,000 at that time. So what I try to tell you, Africans are developing their place one at a time. Yeah, city is not just built on one day. Africans in abroad, they're doing their things. You know, Africans, you have never even been there. You know, not everybody's building in Lagos.
Sorry to cut you off, right?
People build on that places too, bro. You know, don't get it wrong. Visit.
Can you hear me?
Be there.
Look at look at Mayweather, flashing money, acting like he was richer than the white man. What happened to you?
Hey guys, I got to read the super chat. Gift of God, Star North 6363. Thank you for £5. Man in the High Castle. Not every African country is in debt. Some are debt free. Let's connect economically and get some of that Elon Musk money. One line 1104. Thank you for $5 Canadian. Dinus, here's some cash to stop him talking a bunch of crap. He can't help himself. All right, go ahead, Quincy.
Oh, I've already spoken. I've already spoken. I just want everybody to just focus on getting their people back home, because that you know, there's a lot of knowledge that's obtained abroad. It's a lot of skills obtained abroad that's actually needed back home. And I do think there should be a focus once again on the governments. Pick a country wherever they're you know, they're leaving. It should be a focus on getting those governments to give some incentive. Like my guy just mentioned about how many Naira. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I apologize. Let me finish.
Naira.
Not Naira. Okay, Naira. He just mentioned how many Naira it costs to get a house. Maybe it should be some kind of program like, hey, look, if you come home, you know, you get 50% off on a house or something, just to get the people to come back home and bring what they've learned abroad back home. You know, so.
Hold on.
You're right.
Yeah, may I? Sorry, guys. I apologize. No, one second. One second. Okay,
I'm gonna be quiet.
Go on.
I'm gonna be quiet. I beg you. It's funny how you brought up the government, right? Okay, I remember FBA made a song about Africans, the government, right? You know, splashing on social media, make fun of us for years, right?
I never said anything about the government. I never said anything about FBA.
Hold on.
I never mentioned FBA.
So now,
man, that's that jealousy.
Right? So now, currently as we speak, right? There's no governor in 50 states. That's an FBA. So what y'all gonna do about it? November is right around the corner. The governor.
Good man can't stop worshiping the white man.
No. You like
finish?
You Mayweather, man. Flash your money, act like you rich just like the white man. But now
$1 Yankee US dollar in Nigeria is $1,000, bro.
Flash your money.
Right.
If I go over there with just $1,000 US,
you equal like the white man.
Your woman will do anything. She will.
Hey, look. Let me respond to the newest caller.
Can I respond and I'll let bounce. Bang. Okay. So based on my personal experience, what you guys are going through over there, I've seen this all before, and this is the reason why I take the stand I take. Okay, I'm not going to move. I'm warning you. First of all, Quincy, what you said to respond to that, I agree. Look, there's going to be a time Africans who probably even the first generation Africans, they will not be able to find a place in Europe that would be comfortable for them, because the system is working against immigrant in Europe, particularly, the countries where majority of the immigrants came to settle. Is a fact. They are changing laws even for people who are born here to make life harder for them. So they're either going to be forced to go back to Africa to rebuild, or they'll make it so harder for them to exist in Europe. They will have to go back. So it's
But
a choice
explain
for Africans
this:
to make.
why is one
Okay, no,
US
what?
why is one US dollar
Wait.
1,400
1 second.
nairas? Why?
Let me
Explain
I'm
that.
gonna 1 second.
I
I'm gonna
answered that
drop off in a
earlier.
minute. You can say whatever you want to say. I'm gone.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's one. Number two, Africans, who are in the US, who are actually pushing this FBA, pushing you guys to become FBA, or or maybe to have a fringe, to be anti-Pan-Africanist, or to have issue within the African, diaspora who migrated there, who actually probably some of them are feeling some of the anger.
That's all
It's the
rhetoric.
route to self-sufficiency,
Yeah, okay.
bro.
That should be well managed, and we should be careful with it, because
That's not even
if
actually true.
okay,
You know,
I'm not from the
the
US.
thing is, there's
I'm
too
watching.
many
I am
people
watching. Okay, I am
playing
watching.
like
Okay,
they're dependent
can I?
when they're
Melon
really
High Castle.
resourceful.
Just
That's
hold
the
it
issue.
up.
You have too
Hold
many
it up.
people over there who are playing like they're
if
dependent, but they're really
because
resourceful.
Let me respond. Let me respond to the.
if the African Americans, the Africans are pushing, upsetting the African American constituents in America, who are a big voting bloc, and they're upsetting you guys, they might drive you guys to go and fall for the right-wing anti-immigration agenda.
People
And
have
that's
to
only
let
going to affect Africans.
Hold on. Let me
That's only
respond to that.
I'm just being strategic. That's only going to exactly. That's only going to affect the African immigrant who went to
You're not
America,
FBA.
who are not FBA. It's going to affect them.
The other guy, the
So
new guy, he said he's not
this-
FBA, so he's not talking to you.
Okay, no. So it should be a balance. I mean, I'm just begging for unity and some kind of middle ground between the African diaspora who went there and the African Americans. I'm begging for unity so you guys can actually see each other in the daylight and basically realize some of us are learning. We're in a learning curve when we come to this platform. And
What is the
some
criteria to
Africans that
belong
come
to the
here,
African diaspora?
some of the Africans that come here do not represent the
Can I please respond to Africa?
I was actually after him, actually.
Take M to your village.
Yeah.
I was after Africa. I was gonna
and
respond to the.
some of the Africans that come here don't
Hold
have
on, Africa. Let me respond real quick.
Melon High Castle.
Okay.
Make him your chief.
All right, bang. I was gonna say this right. What the first guy said.
Left them people there. Left them people there. They want you.
The first guy that said that we should just focus on certain Africans and their own country. I think if people like Bang or Elvis get to come to America and enjoy all of the resources that's available to Americans, particularly Black Americans, I think we have equal access. We should have equal access to African nations, all the nations, because all African nations could come to our country. So I think it shouldn't just be for just those particular Africans that want to go back. Like, I think if we want to go back as a so-called FBA and have access to a country, be it assisting, visiting, touring, being citizens, I think we should have the same access that they have. But as far as what you said about FBA and having disdain for Africans, we have a history in America with the Uncle Toms. You see what I'm saying? This is a slave plantation.
I agree. I've seen that.
How could you agree, sir? You over there in England.
Hold on. He said the field Negro, house Negro. We always had the sellout dynamic.
Uncle Tom.
But we
Uncle
didn't
Tom,
know.
yes.
A lot of us didn't know that Africans had that same dynamic. And it's as though the main Africans that come to America,
oh man,
the ratio of the coon to the non-coon is like it's a huge massive amount of Africans who have that coonish ideology, who are siding and identify with the white people.
but not
So
me.
when FBA saw that, we treat y'all similar to we always treat the coons. Like y'all are not really with us. Y'all trying to get with that. Y'all like Uncle Tom. So we really don't got the beef with Africa. It's just the coons that come over here and they say cosplay, and then once they cosplay, they get the power, and then they bait and switch. They change.
Why is that necessary? What you doing now?
Okay, let me jump in.
They flip the script once they get the power, and then they undermine us. So we start to isolate them.
One mic.
But we don't say that that's the whole. Because I know Africans who's not like
Can we
that.
find a
You know
level?
what I'm saying?
Can we find a level ground? Can we find a level ground?
We just what we do is we just look at that particular. We look at that particular fingerprint. I would say that particular DNA, that frequency of coon in it. We see that coon DNA, that coon frequency that's prevalent in a massive amount of Africans, and we treat them accordingly. Like, how dare you come to America and benefit off of our civil rights, and then betray us? They betray us. A lot of people talking. I can't even say what I'm saying, but I'm saying that that's what African was saying. Like FBA is somehow against African. It's a particular type of African who come and identify with the white people, and they actually undermine us when they get into our politics. So we got to exclude ourselves from them.
Okay, Bang, can I say one thing? Bang, can I say one thing? Yeah, can I say one thing? Okay, 1 second. I mean, 1 second. I mean, I understand that in the UK we currently have exactly anti-Tom in the UK. She's called Kemi Badenoch. She's Nigerian. She is one of the people who are advocating for Africans, to what they call remigration. She's advocating for remigration, that Africans who come here shouldn't legally have the same right as a white person when it comes to job application. Africans who come here
She's doing it on the behalf of the white man party. She's doing it.
And what about the sister out there in Northern Africa?
But why are you? Come better than that. Come better than that.
On behalf of the party that controlled by the white man.
Exactly.
Hey, let me jump in. Hey, let me jump in.
Africa, man.
All right, super African. Super African.
Mr. Hood Rich.
Yeah.
Okay, super African. I feel you.
You was a Hood Rich. African.
All right, cool.
No, but Bang, you don't make this conversation, Bang. I'm saying, I'm really disappointed, man. Chill out, bro.
Take M and make him your chief in your village.
Super African, I feel you.
Okay, I will. No problem.
Cool.
Yeah, go on.
Make me the chief.
All right, cool. All right, let me get this.
Take Manny High Castle.
Come on, my guy.
Your village.
Come on, my guy.
Okay, I will. No problem.
Hood Rich.
Yeah, no problem.
Every day talk about
dude.
We rich in the country.
Did you eat anybody to that? Did you eat anybody to that? Did you cannibalize somebody to that?
About Africa every day.
I bet you got some sharp ass teeth too.
Rich, man. Come on, man.
Come on.
You sound like
remember, we have some people in our community that are our own enemies. Okay, some of our own people in our own color are the real enemies. It's not about white or black. Some of our own people are the real enemies, and they come exactly. So that's the point. She's a black woman. She came here from Nigeria as a migrant, and she's here to make sure she pulled the ladder behind her while she's climbing the ladder on behalf of. Come on. I don't want to finish it. Exactly. So why can't you just listen to other people when they're speaking, bro? And stop interrupting. Come on, fam.
No, but if you're gonna talk the facts. Talk the facts.
Yeah, but that's what is not fact about that. Anybody that live in the UK will tell you that's what she's been doing.
Hold on.
And if she's elected, that's what she's going to do.
She works for what? What party she works for?
She's from she's a conservative.
Okay.
Do you want to just argue for the sake of it?
Who control that?
I just said it to you. I just
it's one of the fastest growing parties out there too.
Exactly.
She belongs to the conservative, but she's never going to be a prime minister because she's actually drumming for the reform, who is an ultra right-wing party.
She can't be a prime minister because
she's actually basically sucking up to build an alliance with. Okay, and that party will never allow her, because of her color skin, and she knows that.
That's Kansas Owens 2.0
And she
on
would never become the
steroids.
United. She would never be a prime minister in the UK.
Hey, we getting off track.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
getting off
So,
track.
Brian,
We getting off track.
Brian,
We getting off track.
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
let me jump.
So
Let me jump
let's
in.
get back.
We getting off track. Let me jump in
and
real
then
quick.
someone else will come in. No
All
problem.
right, cool. I think who was that? M made a point. You made a point. Okay. So Africa. You mentioned about everybody coming back home, and then M, I think that was M that mentioned that Black Americans should have the same access to you all's resources and all of that stuff in your country that you all have when y'all come here.
No.
Right?
What's wrong with you?
Africa. I was recapping.
No, hold on.
I was recapping.
Yeah, but
I was recapping. I was recapping.
Come on.
I was recapping. I was
No, Brian,
recapping.
honestly, no.
I was recapping.
Brian,
I was
be
recapping.
respectful, man.
African, stop it, man.
Dude, so, do you know what recap means?
Well, can someone else have their opinion, bro?
Put some
Come on,
bass in
man.
your voice,
I was
bro.
recapping.
But then every time you open his dirty mouth,
I was recapping.
Africa are nothing.
Yeah, but
Hey guys, let Michelle talk, please.
Hey, I was in the middle of a point.
No, let Michelle talk. You guys been talking all day. Let the female talk. I need some
Hi,
feminine
good evening,
energy. I don't-
gentlemen. How's everyone doing this evening?
Good night,
Yeah,
man.
we're good, thank you.
Good. How about yourself, sweetie?
I'm fine, thank
Welcome.
you. Sir. But the concern with athlete drain, I think the athlete drain, if we're still on topic, it goes back from when they first met us. I think the dominant society is just impressed of our physique, our beauty, athletic.
Real quick, guys. Let me give a shout out to Mr. Butler for the $20 holler. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Butler.
All right, go ahead, Michelle.
I think with the athleticism piece, you have to understand, Black people, we are very beautiful people. Like, we are very beautiful people, and it shows in our physical activities. And unfortunately, coming the continent and the Caribbean and even in Americas, they go to certain areas and they pull people who otherwise, because they don't have other means, pull all their efforts into athleticism. And now they get into a situation. Now they transitioned where they came from. Because if you look at Brazil, if you look at here in America, you look at places in Europe. So my great concern is because we in the diaspora has never been able to develop ourselves, socioeconomically in all areas and factors of this modern society. Of course, we're going to get pulled out. They're going to take the best of us and take us out. So as gentlemen, I mean, it happens in all areas of life now. I see it, I have a young cousin who's like really, really smart. I was hoping she would go to an HBCU. She ended up going to, a PIW because they offered her more. And, you just look at it, you can't blame her because they offered her opportunity or him or whatever. Hello? Are there?
Oh, we hear you.
A PIW is a predominantly white institution or PWI?
Yeah,
Okay.
or TWI or, traditional white. Mhm.
Okay. How's she doing her first year?
She'll be going this year.
Oh, okay. Out of state?
Oh, that's good.
Out of state, yes, definitely.
Wow, that's a big wow.
That's nice.
That's real big.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at it and you can't blame, you look at her, you look at the situation. I'm like, can you blame her? Like, she needs the money. And then also when I used to work, I used to have a young man, his brother that I was working, because I worked in human services, I still do. His brother went away for college, coming from this, DC, Washington area. When he went, he was shy with all the gifts and everything. Unfortunately, something happened. He had to come back home, and he was just, a regular guy in the DC area. So they extract us, and once they don't get what they need from us, especially he was an athlete, he was playing football, they just discard you. Nobody talks about that.
Who discards?
Well, we could talk about for a minute because there's always that one tall brother or sometimes sisters too. You'd be like, man, do they play ball? And they just, just maybe they never made it, or they have a story where they don't even play ball, but they're tall as hell. These things happen, These things do happen.
Well,
They don't make it all the way. They have to come back home.
Well, to be honest with you, that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, it is.
Because I remember, I'm not sure who said it, but it was a genius back in the either 20s or 40s. I forgot which one, but it was some genius who did some genius stuff, right? But he was tall, like 6'6" plus. And I remember a guy saying, "Hey, if that guy was born after 1990, that guy would have been pushed into sports, and we would have lost that genius." Right? So, on one hand, I get where you're coming from, but I'm of the ilk that we actually lose a lot of Black Americans to sports who would have otherwise went off to do a lot of great things, but because they spent and dedicated so much time in their youth to sports, that's kind of what they got pushed to. So
I agree. Because now I think the guy works security. Yeah.
It happens. It happens. It does.
It does. And the whole sports conversation, like I said, that's a whole different conversation. Because I'm in Atlanta, right? And I'm a father. And I take my kids to like science camps. Georgia Tech has a science week. I take my kids to all kind of, off the beaten path, kind of like science or tech or whatever kind of stuff. And just to be straight up with you, I'm a Black American. It ain't that many of us around there. And I'm gonna keep
Shout
it a
out
buck
to Charles Drew Academy out there.
Let me tell you what's funny. I ain't gonna say too much, but I got a direct line with Charles Drew Academy. You know what I'm saying? So
speak on Charles Drew for a second, if you could, to enlighten some of the Pan Africans.
No. I don't know the history of them, but the
academy,
it's over in East Lake, off of Glenwood. The school itself actually is pretty good. It's mostly Black. It serves it's mostly Black. The graduation rate is out of this world. The academics is out of this world. It's just a sprinkle of sprinkle of white folks in there. Like it's really like a beautiful thing. And like I said, they prioritize the low income immediate students, and then they kind of spread out and bring in all the superb students from around the area. So it's really a great school. Right. Yeah, it's really a great school. But the point I was making was that as far as we getting out on athletes, man, and I have a knack because I'm tall. I'm like 6'1", right? But I'm in tech, and I just saw a lot of people my height and above kind of lean into sports when I'm like, I know you pretty good in X, Y, and Z, and you pretty good in that. And had you spent your 8 years old to 18 doing that, you would have had a leg up. And I'm saying that as a father now who take their kids to these camps, and I'm seeing the Asians, the Indians, the whites bring their kids to these camps, and I don't see a lot of Black people, and the few Black people that I do see, I'm gonna be straight up with you. It is what it is. Most of them ain't FBA, especially on Georgia Tech campus. It's definitely Africans, maybe some Caribbeans, but it's very few Black people, and if those there, they definitely ain't us. So we just lose a lot of kids to sports, and I'm all out. That's just I'm not saying kids shouldn't play sports. I'm not saying they shouldn't be involved, because I did play sports, but the way we kind of lose them and kind of the dedication and the time that they dedicate in their youth to it, that's the part where I kind of just I depart from the standard.
Speaking on sports, sir, one of my favorite athletes.
Guys, can you guys let other people speak, man? God damn.
One of my favorite athletes. She plays tennis.
Hey, bro.
Yeah. Hold on. Say James talk yet? Say James, have you spoke yet?
Not yet, bro. These guys tell his life stories, man. God damn, it's boring.
Go ahead, say James, and then after that, too Michael. Hold on. Michelle, did you finish, Michelle?
Yeah, I was just talking about, we were talking about the drain, and I just want to correlate to how they drain us in terms of they could be like my brother Quincy and the man at the High Castle were just trying to show how they, focusing on.
I was trying to relate.
And we're not.
I want to talk about Victoria Mboka.
Golly,
Can we
man.
talk
All right.
about that tomorrow?
Yeah, we can talk about that later. Michelle, go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, I'm
You got
waiting for
30 seconds.
Brother St. James to continue. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, say James.
Hi, Donis. Thanks for having me, man. Salute to the panelists. Man, it's a great topic, but I believe everybody already gave their 2 cents about it. So, as far as Africa is concerned, I know it's a big problem, that our people have to leave to go to Europe and other places to make some money. But I do want us to. So I do acknowledge that we don't have the solutions. We have the solution, but no one wants to implement them yet. But I love what the Brazilians are doing, right? They play in their countries, and they do go to Europe, to make more money. The ideals for them is to go to Europe and make more money and get the exposure. Once they get the exposure, they will return back to their country and retire, play more and retire. That's their model. That's the Brazilian models. You will never see Brazilian playing for other countries. You will see them playing teams in Europe and everywhere else, but you don't see them play for other countries. But when it comes to us, it's a little different. But I know it's for us, we don't have the institutions in Africa. We don't have the people that want to pay the athletes in Africa, So what do you want? They're gonna have to travel to get the exposure and make some money. So if you don't solve it, the problem is still gonna happen. If anybody watch Senegal and France, you can see exactly what happened there. The Africans are playing. The Africans are playing against the Africans. Technically, that's what happened there.
Yeah,
and I do want to. Yeah,
James.
Is that Bang?
Yeah. That's me.
Oh, well,
Don't worry,
okay.
James, man. We're gonna change it because you see
Right.
how Abraham Traore, right? When
Yeah.
when Burkina Faso had a tournament, right? The president
Yeah.
shows up and then
Right.
hand the players the gift, right? That's a
Yeah.
sign. That's a symbol. In West Africa, I can't remember the last time a president
Right.
was there in the stadium to give another team, the trophy.
Right.
That's just a symbol.
Yeah, we have to we have to put a lot of money and make it interesting.
Man, St. James, bless you to your country, man. Bless you to your country.
Appreciate it, man.
To your country, man.
May I have
And
another
you're a Christian, right? Because your name
Right.
is St. James. Hallelujah to you, man. Hallelujah to you, man.
Hallelujah. What?
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
thank you.
yes,
Thank you, Banks, bro.
May I ask you a question, please? Another thing I noticed with African soccer teams, you have white coaches. Why?
What
Even
happened?
Caribbean. That's another
happened?
issue.
Okay.
Can you answer that, anybody?
Great
As soon
point.
as I just clicked in, right? Mr. M just drop off. How is that working out for you, Al, for advocating for these coons, man? Like men's in the high council, Mr. M. How is that
answer that
working out
question?
advocating for these coons? Like, listen.
Well, St. James,
Can you answer Michelle's
No, because
question?
I praise you for your
Yeah.
patience. I praise you for your
Thank
courage.
you.
I praise you
Thank
for
you.
your time, but I'm just checking with you. How is that working out for you? Advocating for
It's not.
these
It's not easy. I must
coons.
admit, it's not easy at all. But it's nothing is easy in life. We need to try and and see
Michelle,
what
they
we
don't even
can
want to
do.
talk about your question. They don't want to answer.
Okay, like men in the high council, right? Listen, yesterday you guys were talking about, you were touching on the topic yesterday. I believe you talk about the politicians in the UK, right?
You
And I
said
can't.
Hey, you a zesty sissy.
Oh
Stop
my
talking
goodness.
about me. This sister had a question.
My goodness, man. Look at
Answer
your voice and you
this
talking
woman's
about being
question.
zesty. Just check
Trying
your
to
voice.
engage
Look
with
at,
me.
and you talking about
Men in
being
the high council,
zesty?
relax.
Why you homo like that, sir?
Man, listen, man.
No,
That's
but
your
men in the
culture,
high
bro.
council,
That ain't
relax,
got nothing to do with me, bro. Relax.
relax,
And,
men in.
and I was making the point yesterday, right?
One second, man.
Right.
Captain, man. I keep telling you, we gotta stop the name calling. So
I know,
I'm
man.
gonna
You
call
can't
him.
help it. You can't help
So
it.
I
So
could
you
be
know,
called a coon, right?
no, you can't
Well,
help
say
it.
James, you did call him cool, say James. So you
So
Well,
answer the sister's question.
I mean, look at the behavior, man. Come on. What do you want? What else do you want me to call it? What, Donis? What else do you
It's
want me to
fine
call it?
if you do that, but I want to be able to bust
Man,
back at him.
oh yeah, that's fine, but you
That's
gotta
it.
wait
You know,
for.
that's it.
Discussion
Let me finish first.
We gotta
Man,
pass.
yeah, Donis, I wasn't done though. Let me finish. He kept blocking me, man.
Say, Jay,
Let me
Let
finish.
him land. Let him land.
Let me land, right? So Mr. M is from Chicago, right?
Oh my
I want him to come back and talk about the status of the black man in Chicago because I did live there. He omit that part when he comes on here. He talks a lot about Africa. He doesn't want to talk about Chicago, the very city he lives in, the very city where he can add a lot of value to. Mr. M doesn't want to talk about it because it's a failure. You want to talk about Africa, you should go to Africa and pick things and bring war to people. Bring war to the people that took over the south side of Chicago. I want to see that. Do something about it in your own turf. Show me your muscles. You can't talk about going to Africa and people are taking over the south side of Chicago and you ain't doing nothing. Right?
Dinus, you allowing that?
And yeah, I mean, shit, he gotta allow it because he's been doing it for a minute. You know?
Can we get back? Can we get back to the topic?
No. That's exactly the topic. That's exactly the topic, Quincy. Whether you like it or don't like it, that's the topic right here.
Hey, Chicago, Southside Chicago is a little over 100,000.
Hey, bro, relax, bro. I lived in Chicago, so you know what? I lived in Chicago for 4 years. You don't want me to go there, and Al, if you look into oh man, god damn, brother.
Yeah, let him land quick, guys.
I just use a word. You say you don't like it, but you keep doing it. I'm gonna use it again.
Answer that sister's question.
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use it again.
Can I? The answer to the question.
I got to pass. Say James, you got 30 seconds.
All right, man. The difference between the UK and here, right? Most of the West and Central Africans, we're not in politics over here. The East Africans are in politics. In my state in Colorado, there's a guy called Negus. He's from Eritrea. So you're going to have Negus, who's part of the Congressional Black Caucus, and you're going to have Ilhan Omar from Somalia. Those are, ma'am, can you relax, please?
Oh, don't do that. Michelle been quiet for the whole time.
No, but she's cutting me off, though. She's cutting me off.
Want to answer her question, though?
No. She can ask the question when I'm done. Donna's gave me 30 seconds. I'm trying to land my plane.
James, 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you. So these are the two most known Africans that are part of the Congressional Black Caucus. If you look into it, West and Central Africa, we're not interested in politics nationwide. We don't. So adding to FBA's problems, we're not there. They do their own politics, they create their own laws, and they do their own lobby. Africans are not part of that. So we are different than what's going on in the UK. And any Africans in America that speak in politics don't do it on behalf of Africans that live in America. You know what I'm saying? We don't consign them to go into politics to speak on our behalf. They go.
We got to pass the mic.
That's interesting.
You got a question, Michelle?
Interesting.
Michelle,
if we can get back to the topic of the show, please. One of the questions when you talk about the athletic and brain drain, my concern is that when I look at the African teams, I see white coaches, and the Caribbean teams, I see white coaches. You know,
and Michelle is right on that. She is right on that. I think that's disgraceful. He is actually wrong. It just shows, how. I mean, Sierra Leone is a good example. Mohamed Kalon of Sierra Leone, absolutely native good player, brilliant player. He brought the Sierra Leone national team from the dust to what it is today. Guess what? They replaced him, they disgraced him, and they just replaced him with a white French guy who actually just lost, to Liberia, which we haven't done for a long time. So the point that she's making is absolutely correct. I pass the mic. She's on point. Well, yeah, I mean, I did not.
Let me pass it.
Yeah, sorry, Dinus. I apologize. It's a bit surprised to know East African dominates American politics more than West Africans. That's very new.
That's a fact.
You can look at that. Thank you.
Go ahead, Nigel.
Thank you.
Yeah, greetings, Dinus. Thank you for having me on. Greetings all the panelists. Greetings to the chat and special greetings to the viewers. I think I kind of resonate with what someone said earlier on about some of the minds that have been taken off the tech industry and some of the geniuses that have gone into sports. Personally, I don't care too much about sports. If they want to take all the sports people in Africa, let them take, but let them keep the genius minds that are going to invent and build this in the economy. I'll be fine with that. And as a matter of fact, while listening to some American music in the past, I've often wondered that some of these people sound like geniuses in the kind of songs they've been able to put together. And you can tell they put their soul into this. And I've often wondered if they were given a latitude, these people could invent and do great things. But that's the only outlet they've got access to. And some of the stuff I've heard today is actually surprised me because somebody testified that even in America today, going to tech environments, you hardly even see a BA around them. You often see a little bit of non-FBA present, but no FBA around. Given the proximity to technology, what that shows is something that is in our culture that seems to be antithetical or kind of allergic to technology, or a system of control that is so pervasive and so strong that is affecting the continent and affecting even all the ones outside the continent too. Because for the life of me, I've always wondered, this is why I said no black person has ever won a Nobel Prize in any of the sciences. Not one black person. Out of billions of us in the world, we've never had it. So for me, I find that really strange.
Tunaja, there's a lot of Nigerians in Silicon Valley killing it, bro. Look into it,
They
bro.
have it there, but they are not at the cutting edge. They are just
They are. Who told you they are? The fast creators of businesses across the globe is Nigerians in Silicon Valley. Check it out. Startups. What you don't know?
Global population is still not enough. Look at Indians. It's still not enough.
It's not enough, but it's something to be proud of, bro. It's a lot to be proud of.
The whole world has produced Nobel Prize winners, not one, not two, in the sciences, other than one of the major races of the world having produced none, and we don't see that as alarming. What is it in our culture that has done this? Is it something that we implemented ourselves, or is it something that was imposed on us? Where did this come from? And this is very, very serious, and some people in the chat are talking rubbish. This is some very serious issue because it disturbs me a lot. I remember once I was in London and I was doing something in one of these shops, and a black man with his son came to me and said, I never thought our people did anything like this. He had to take pictures with me because of that. Why are we like that? What is it about us? And that is a very concerning thing, because I watch iShowSpeed travel all over the world and went to Africa. His technical team, the guards are black men and everything, but the technical ones are white or Asian. He even went to Angola. Whenever he's talking about people dancing, you see the black people. But when they wanted to do that car racing thing, do you notice that the race suddenly switched to Indian? What is it about us? Dangote refinery, his refinery is being run by a white man and Indians. What is it about us? We seriously need to ask a serious question to ourselves, that something is missing. Either our focus on technology and doing it at cutting edge without serving other people's interests, something is off there. That's my own way of looking at this. In terms of these athletes that they are draining and taking them to Western countries, is part of the whole episode, because they are making those athletes look like they are people we should be looking up to, and then they encourage the next generation to behave like that. Just like the gentleman said, if there was somebody over 6 foot, they were encouraging to go and do sports, because that's the only outlet, isn't it? But
Tunaja, when did that start? In the 90s, early 2000s, did we have those problems? We had like the sprinkles of Africans that play for national teams across in Europe and other places. But in the 90s, the soccer players, they always come back home and play. They had the pride. What happened there? You should touch on that. So this is a new phenomenon that whereby every Africans want to go to Europe and play for the foreign nation. Why is that though? Okosha and them, all these, the drug bars in the world, the Etos, they are billionaires right now, but they never play for a European team. So the model is there for the kids to follow. Why they're not following the model? It's not about the money. Technically, if you look into it, it's not about the money. Drogba is now broke. Etofis is now broke. All these people who played in Europe and had a name exposure, they're not broke. They came back to Africa. Actually, Etofis is the president of the Federation of Cameroon soccer team. So he made a lot of money. Drogba's in them, Okosha's in them. They're not broke. Why these kids cannot emulate that? Why they can't?
Why you making it individual? Our society has.
I was asking Tunaja, do you play sport?
No, but let us make an input. I'd like to hear our input. Go on, Michelle.
Oh no, let him have it. Let St. James have it. Let St. James. Brother Nigel, can you please answer his question?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think what you are observing is what you are describing as the glory days is a corrosive episode that has already started occurring, whereby our people go overseas, spend most of their productive years playing football in the West, then they come back to Africa and do a little bit of service at home. And even the home football circuit is very thin on the ground. They are mostly supporting foreign clubs. Even in Nigeria today, they know more about foreign teams than they know about the Nigerian teams. So it's a corrosive episode that has already started a long time ago. What you are just observing is a trend. And maybe at the early stages, they got out all the best brains out of Nigeria in terms of the technological aspect, politically, then the sports aspect. What you are now seeing that they are not even bothering to come back at all or even changing their nationality. It's just a trend in the same direction. The point I'm making is that we have to ask ourselves, what is it in our culture that refuses to turn this around? Because for
we don't want to get our hands dirty.
Tunaga, those that made it outside of the countries can come back and take leadership roles. That's how we're gonna turn the tide. That's what I was mentioning.
I mean,
if you look at the Brazilians, the model is the Brazilian.
Be careful with the Brazilians. We can take note, but be careful with Brazil.
What happened there? What happened there, sister? What's the problem there?
It's still a white majority led country. Yes, the black people are still at the bottom. So
Could I go a little bit, please? If you might allow me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, 1 second. I'm gonna drop off anyway. Ola, sorry to Niger. One of the reasons why, because I work in a precision engineering sector in the UK. I've been saying this for a long time. You know, I hardly see black people doing this job actually getting trained. And this is not years ago. You used to go to university to be engineer. Today, you only got to do is learn how to use a CME machine. You know, you go to college. You know, you do like 2 years in college, then you do 2 years apprenticeship, and you can actually get a loan or a grant to actually buy those machines. And then by the time you know it, you can actually become subcontracted by BAE, you know, Airbus, Rolls-Royce. You know, you'll be killing it. I got into this thing, you know, later on in life. There hardly any black person doing this job, and I'm trying. And I met few black kids in the college that we supply, and I try as hard as I call them on the corner, talk to them, because I see them from college, then over the years, and I see them working in the company and progress and graduate. Very few, very, very few. And some of those are West African kids. Kudos to them. But majority of the black kids out there, they don't want to get their hands dirty. And it goes to a lot of the other kids that you find in the West today. They want to do an easy job, more fashionable things, become a footballer. It's a cultural issue also. And also it's an infrastructural development issue we have in the continent without having enough energy. You know, we don't have energy. Without energy, you cannot have any of these things in Africa. You know, to open an engineering company, you need.
What should bother you the most, that if FDA that has been in America there for 400, 500 years and fought side by side and struggled, stronger proximity to the technology and everything, are still kept apart from it somehow? How is that possible? Whatever control there is very effective.
Let me say this, right?
I mean, anyway, I'm gonna, you know, blessing to everybody else. You know, I salute you guys. Great conversation. At least you share the steering.
Africa.
Yes, my brother.
Forget, man.
Yes, my brother.
Has to be your chief. And
listen, I got time for everybody. FBA, African American, Africans.
I'm gonna love you. Men in the High Castle will be your Paramount chief. Men in the High Castle,
we need to be
the Paramount chief.
We need to be able to put our place in other people's shoes.
Can I speak a little bit?
I appreciate it.
I might be having a total different. You see, generally, it's all about the money. Black people are broke in everything. Broke. It's all about the money. Let's use an example.
Are you broke? Are you broke?
No. Look.
He don't look at himself black.
Hey, please let me respond after him, please. Okay?
Hold on.
Please let me respond to him.
See. St. James, if you come to a place like America or Europe, if you date a black girl, you'll be suffering, right? You don't have anything. You'll be suffering, right? You can't even, you know, your life will not even be straight up. You be having problem and everything. But you just carry a white chick and say they love you. Before you know, you just climb immediately. That's where our
Well,
soccer also hold on. That's the way our soccer also also suffered. Because they didn't invest money on it. If you carry a black chick, the black chick will be telling you, "Oh, where's the next party today? Can we go to that club? Can we go to this club? Can we go to
Please don't
But if you
stereotype. Wow,
the
Please
black
don't do that.
but
Please don't
but
stereotype us like that.
but if you carry a white chick, before you know,
Please don't
you
stereotype
start
we ain't
before you
doing
know
that.
start living.
No, we ain't doing that. We ain't
This
doing
is
that.
Hold on,
Nah, we ain't doing that. No, we ain't doing that.
This guy don't
No,
have
I'm
we ain't
not
doing
doing.
that.
I'm not doing. Hold on, bro. I'm not doing that. But what you also have to start in every aspect of life. In every aspect of life, the black what I call it the black skin race. Look at England now. You see that woman that is there that's married to a white man. They say it is against Africans now. They want Africans to leave and everything because he just felt. They will also ask him to go also. You know, it's not like she's going to be there. They cannot drive. They was, oh, I'm different. I support. No. She will pay the price also. Yeah, enter that plane and get hell out of this place. You're not English. You understand me? If Africa can get itself together and believe what we believe those days, I mean, the generation that enjoyed Nigeria soccer, New Nigeria Bank, Better Insurance, all kind of banks at that time, Moshood Abiola kind of club and everything at that time. I was as a young teenager at that time, 15 years, something at that time. I would run to the stadium and find myself to sneak in to just watch football match, just to see them Finidi George playing and all those things. But now, what they happened, the white man came in the same sense. I cannot really blame the white man. We kill our club ourselves, We kill our club ourselves. Now,
No,
go to Nigeria.
bro. No. I hate the idea that we got to be perfect to be respected. You know what I mean? Nobody's perfect. No group is perfect in this world, including the white folks you're trying to praise right now. No group is perfect. They got their flaws, just like everybody else got their flaws. So don't bring up our flaws and compare it to whatever they don't do to justify whatever line of thinking that
The
you
white
got.
man,
Bro.
the white man get the money, man. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No. To that point, and let me jump in,
Mr. Charlie.
And please, let me jump in to that point. The only thing the white man got ahead of black folks in this whole world is the money. Anybody who Black American knows the whole saying, "A big bank take little bank," right? And if you go to the whole topic of this show about the brain drain, the athlete drain, it's all about the money. You know what I mean? Whether it's African athletes going over to America or going over to the British or UK countries, or whether let me finish. Or whether it's Michelle who mentioned about black athletes who will go to a PWI versus HBCU. It all boils down to the money, right? And white folks got a head start with the money, but let's not act like because they got a head start that means they're smarter. Because anybody, I'm gonna be done in 2 seconds. There's 2 more points. Anybody with half a brain knows that. But just because you got more money, it don't mean you smarter. I went to school. A lot of people on this call went to school. Just because you went to school, it don't mean you smarter. And I don't know how many folks y'all have been around that got money, but just because they got money, it don't mean they smarter. White folks got money.
Let me say
White folks got money. 2 more points, and I'm done. 2 more points, and I'm done. 2 more points. No, 2 more points. I waited for a long time. 2 more points, and I swear I'm done. I'm gonna hang up.
Go ahead, man. I'm messing with
2 more points, and I'm done. 2 more points, and I'm done. They hung up, but Africa, and Eminem was talking about the access that the Black Americans should have to different countries versus what we get to our country and we get to their country, right? The difference is, for lack of better words, we don't 100% Black Americans. We don't 100% control what Africans have access to in this country. We didn't up until recently. We started delineating, right? But for the most part, we don't control it. Versus African
Who are you? Who are you donating for? Who from who?
From anybody who's not a Black American, just like y'all do. Just like y'all do. It's real simple. This ain't
So
rocket science.
why are you going to model? I have a question for you, Quincy. Why are you going to model? No. It's all about. Well, you're going to finish though. You're going to finish. I wanted to add more to what you're going to say because we want to give you more time though.
Cool. Well, my last statement is O'Shea Duke Jackson, who is Dynasty's homeboy, right? He got this real. He do the Kinganda YouTube channel, right? And he has an episode. I think he maybe dropped a week or two ago, and because he's in Uganda, and I think he's speaking about South Africans or somebody, right? And he made these 2 points about how who was it? The guy talking about the doctors or the Silicon Valley people, the Africans, the Nigerians in Silicon Valley, and that goes back to what O'Shea Duke Jackson talked about how Africans want to brag and shine and talk big about how they shining in other people's shit. I apologize, Dynasty.
That's fine. That's fine. The guy that
right. And last thing, and the last point he made was one of the major points he made was, when you move to somebody else's country, the native people in that country are going to ask one simple question: how are you adding to us? And if you're not adding anything, then you're going to get pushback.
Let me ask you a question. Yeah, that's great. I'm happy you brought. I'm happy you brought this dude, right? Let me finish, Bang. It's going to be quick and easy. This guy is very irrelevant to Africans, right? And I'm glad you mentioned it. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, he's very irrelevant, and it adds nothing to us. It's not fun watching him. At first, we thought he did, but it's not fun watching. He adds nothing. But you say, let me finish. The best option for him is to come back and help the FBAs in America to delineate it, because since he's on that kind of path, he's far away from America. So if you want to talk FBA, you want to talk delineations, you should come back to America and help your folks. So that would be the offer that we can give this guy that you're referencing today.
Oh no, O'Shea. That's not O'Shea. That's not O'Shea.
Okay.
That's not O'Shea. That's not O'Shea.
That's the name you mentioned, right?
No, but that was a different point. O'Shea was different from the delineation point.
Okay. You see, when you delineate and you model yourself after other people, that's laughable. You have to be authentic. So when you talk about, hold on. When you're talking about, are you gonna relax or are you gonna keep talking?
I'm asking, what are you like?
You can't do both.
Nigerian,
you can't talk and be. I'm from.
What are you, Nigerian? What are you?
I'm from Gualagualas, bro.
Okay, Gualagualas. Okay, cool. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. So when you want to delineate, right? You don't copy after other people. You bring some authenticity in your plot. So when you say because Africans or Caribbeans are doing it, therefore you're going to have to go ahead and do it. It shows us that you're not genuine about delineation. You should have came up here and say, you know what? These are the reasons why you want to delineate from others, because you are Black Americans, not because you want to model yourself after Africans and Caribbeans. You understand what I'm saying? So it's laughable, but I mean, we let you do it, right? It's cool.
You don't let us do anything. You don't let us do anything.
No, we let you do anything because you've been doing this for over 5 years, so we kind of let you do it, right?
We gonna do what we do. You don't let us do nothing in America.
It's been over 5 years. It's been over 5 years. You're talking. No. We do. It's been over 5 years.
No, you don't. That's why you're so mad about it. You don't let us do nothing in America.
Why would I be? I'm helping you. I'm helping you.
No, but you don't let us do nothing.
How can I be mad and at the same time I'm helping you?
But you don't let us do nothing. Let's get that straight. In America,
I don't let
us do nothing in America.
No, Quincy.
We let you do shit in America.
Quincy,
no,
relax.
Get it right. We let you do stuff in America.
Quincy, relax.
We let you go ahead.
Quincy, relax.
Quincy.
Quincy.
Do the minority. We let you do shit in America. You don't let us do a damn thing in America. Get that right.
Quincy.
No, get that right. Okay.
Quincy, I thought I was gonna have a decent. I thought I was gonna have a decent conversation with you, but you are getting.
Also, Pan Africans were brothers.
You are getting your feelings, and I haven't even said anything.
I'm done.
You are getting in your feelings.
I'm done.
I haven't even said anything.
All right, I got to read these super chats. Baba League 354. Thank you for $10 holla. Black Americans are very confused. They don't know what or who they are.
We Black Americans. It's real easy. I'm sorry, Danny. My bad. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry.
Thank you for $2 holla. South African or South Korea 0. Excellent game. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I think some of these Africans, let me just add this quickly. I think some of these Africans are in the US. We really should watch the way we approach this issue of FBA delineation, because they have a right to create a kind of uniqueness to themselves, because they
Tunaja, I'm not gonna let you go there, right? No. Listen. Tunaja. So if Africans have the luxury, no, you're gonna finish, right? You're gonna finish. Tunaja, you're gonna finish. I'm gonna be respectful. If we no. Listen, I'm gonna finish. For me, right? If we have the luxury, but this guy was cutting me off. You were sitting there and watching it, right? He cut me off, so that's part of the conversation.
Anybody that wants to say anything like
you
try to cut them off.
No. You don't, because
what I'm saying. As an African, I'm saying this. You shouldn't go and start telling people, because this is one of the things South Africans complain about. You can't go to some other person's territory and start acting as if they are not their own people too.
Who said that here in this platform? Who said that here in this platform? Who said that, Tunaja? Who said that here in this platform?
Hold on, let me finish.
No, but because you can't speak. You gotta. Who said that here in this platform, Tunaja?
People are asking for the link, Dinus.
Who said, Tunaja? Who said that here in this platform? I'm asking you.
You're saying that they are copying Africans.
What happened?
They're copying Africans. That's what you are saying by trying to delineate.
He said it. I paraphrase what he said. Tunaja, you should have listened to what I said. I paraphrase what he said.
Hold on. That is not the trust of his argument.
No. Tunaja, that don't work here. That don't work here. Don't play the devil advocate here, Tunaja. Don't play the devil advocate here.
I'm trying to stop the confusion, because what you are doing is
no. What you are doing, Tunaja? First of all, what you are doing, Tunaja? What are you doing, right? First of all, you fall from the UK. You don't live in America. You don't know the experience in America. So you're not gonna teach me nothing. You're not teaching me. You don't teach me nothing. No, you don't teach me nothing about what's going on in America. So stop BSing, bro.
Let me ask you that so you can
stop BSing, bro.
Do you think?
Hey, Donald, can you let man speak, man? Tunaja is not. No. You don't have the credential to speak on it. You don't have the credential to speak on it. Let men speak, man. You don't have the credential to speak. You live in the UK.
I'm talking. Tunaja, you got a minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. So you have to allow people be themselves without trying to insult them. What he was saying, maybe he said something about copying some things this in Africans are doing, but that is not the trust of FBA argument. FBA wants to be recognized as a specific entity within the American context, whereby when this in FBA arrives, so that they can get their own benefit. And also be recognized as a unique set of people right now. And that is important. You can't just go somewhere and say, oh no, it doesn't matter. You are nobody. You don't have a culture. That is not how it works. You will say that's not what you are saying. That is exactly what you are saying by ignoring by saying that all he's doing is copying African descent. But that is not the thrust of his argument. He just
Tunaja, I watch your channel, right? You sit on YouTube for 8 hours, right? And you get
say James, stop.
My 1 minute is gone. You can go ahead and speak. I don't know why he just has to be.
Okay, well, ignore him tonight. You got 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah, there's no need to be antagonistic with people that are saying they want to be FBA. By doing that, you are actually making them hostile to you. There's no. What do you gain from doing that? They are their own people. You have been in Africa for all this while.
Tunaja, we know your play, man. Tunaja,
it's not by play. It's just a fact. You have to respect people.
What's St. James?
Come on.
Go ahead, Tunaja. Go ahead, Tunaja. Golly, man. Jesus.
No, I don't know why some people struggle to respect people. This is what pisses some people off.
Tunaja, you got 30 seconds. Just go.
Okay, simple. I would do it for 15 seconds. Just respect people that are in their territories. If they tell you something about themselves, just respect it. Simple. Thank you.
All right, go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Sake. Then it's Babaliko.
Hey, peace and love to the chat. I hope everyone's doing well. Now the question is, are we losing the best, man? And yeah, man, the answer is yes, man. If you don't invest in your citizens, man, regardless if it's sports, if it's entertainment, even if it's education, man, you're gonna lose the best of the best. It's not, I mean, it's not the first time, where people leave their countries for better opportunities, man. And you wanted to know if it's the infrastructure, if it's the money. It's both. I mean, come on, as an athlete, how are you gonna sit there in your country and practice your craft if they don't invest within your craft to practice it? I remember some time ago, I don't remember the guy's name, but it was a Nigerian guy. I think he was from the UK, and he came back to Nigeria, I guess, to work as a doctor or something. And from what I gather, he was supposed to get like paid or something. And then he did the work, and when it came to payment, the Nigerian government refused to give him any funds. And he was like very upset because he's just like, I spent my my last earnings to like really help out my country, and he's like, I'm never coming back. Like I said, I don't remember what happened verbatim, but when you treat your citizens like that, man, they're gonna go elsewhere for opportunities, man. That's why like you've seen countries like like the AES that are really pushing to invest in their citizens. Not just militarily, not just sports wise, down the line, everything, even with education and stuff too. You see them getting these mineral deals, which they're owning majority of the ownership. I can speak for like Burkina Faso as far as the gold mines. 6 are owned by the state, 3 are owned by the Burkina billionaire, and the rest is other foreign companies, which they own about like 40% of the ownership of the gold mines, which is excellent. And they can take those resources to invest back in their country. That's why you see like them doing the roads. You don't see other people doing the roads. Burkina Faso are doing the road. Okay, Burkina Faso are doing the roads or doing the infrastructure. And it's the same with Mali, which Mali had the 60% ownership of the explosive company that they created with China. Same thing with Niger. Niger was able to get 45% ownership of the oil pipeline with China, with the energy structure. So yeah, man, it starts with the leadership, man. And the people need to hold their leaders accountable. If you don't hold your leaders accountable, man, how you gonna get something done? That's why I'm saying that, not saying everyone has to be like the AES, but at least like have ownership to invest.
It's very important that for further information and for further goals of care discussion, patient significant other is going to meet with me next week. I did call him, introduce myself, so we plan to meet next week.
What?
Huh?
What?
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, I just got
Yeah,
thrown off.
I don't know. I think she's talking to somebody else. Go ahead, man. Say.
Yeah. So I was just saying that no matter where you're from, my African brothers and sisters, FBA, ADOS, hold your leaders accountable, man, and let it get done. And if they don't want to get done, man, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I gotta put onto the subject matter.
All right, go ahead, Babaliko.
That's my sake. You're right. AES is doing it. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Take your minds back and take your stuff back. And take majority of the percentages. Also, I heard somebody earlier said that why Africa and all this are black coach. I mean, there's black coach everywhere. It's white coaches. White coaches in basketball. It's white coaches in baseball. It's white coaches everywhere. So that's not in void.
Excuse me, it's very important because a coach position is a very, very powerful position, and it holds status. And it holds
Michelle, chill out. Go ahead, Babaliko.
No, but that's a fact, Michelle. Isn't the black basketball players have white coaches?
You say chill out. You don't say chill out to the men, but you say chill out to me. That's not fair, guys.
God.
Stop it. No. We're not. Hold on. We're not playing that game, Michelle. Not at all. Trust me. I've removed Say James. I've told people to shut up. I've told people to get off.
That's a fact.
Yeah, we're not playing that game, Michelle. You're not gonna play the damsel in distress. You're not playing that game.
I never said I was a damsel in distress.
Michelle,
get good paying jobs and roles.
Michelle, your panty in a twist because it's a fact. Okay,
No, you don't talk about my penis.
Your panties in a twist because it's a fact. I don't give a damn. Your panties in a twist because it's a fact.
Yeah, we're not gonna play that game, Michelle. What you're doing is very dangerous, and it's not fair.
You talked about my
No,
penis.
you're not gonna talk over me because I come on here. In fact, when you first came on, I skipped everybody that was in the queue and said, "Let the woman talk."
I appreciate that.
Okay, so stop. Hard stop right there. We're not playing that game.
Damn, I thought y'all bosses up in here.
Go ahead,
that's true. We have white coaches everywhere, so it's not in void. The game you're playing, black coaches in Africa. Get the hell out of here with that nonsense. There's white coaches everywhere. So second to begin, I was hearing Tariq Nasheed talk, and he was saying about Africa already get their money for slavery, so they shouldn't be included in the reparations and all this stuff you're talking about. But I didn't get to talk, but what I was supposed to say is those people who get the money he was talking about, is they're long past and gone. So are you saying that those people who get the money for slavery years ago, because you say Africa got their money, years ago, is those people now, and they shouldn't get no they shouldn't get no reparations? Reparations is for Africans too, Caribbeans, Brazilians. So a lot of reparations that's supposed to be going around for everybody. I thought we were talking about sports of descendants. Hush, man in the high castle. You always talk about get your money up. I don't see
I
you.
wasn't even speaking right now.
That was me, bro. That was Taharka. But we talk about reparation for the past 2-3 days. You're talking about athletes and sports now.
No, but what I'm saying is though, those are the reparate everything tying together, because remember, those monies that those French and them is paying those athletes is the same money they take from Africa, from the resources. It's the same damn money.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
Yeah. So it's the same money. So it's not even like, I know the good athletes, they go over and they play for all these countries and stuff like that. But it's the same money they're taking from our people anyway. So Africa and Caribbean and our places will never get fair justice. We will always have the best players go over to these countries. Why? Because the leaders doesn't do nothing for the people. They can't play for Mbappe and them can't play for the countries they're really in Africa because there ain't no money there. The money's been sucked out, taken. So they're playing for France and all these big these big time teams.
So why beg FBA to come over there or gaslight us and say that we're African to go to Africa? But y'all want to come over to these countries where we're at. It doesn't make any sense.
Wait, say that again. Say that again, man in the hand castle. I didn't hear you.
Who's begging?
Okay, not just you, but why do Pan-Africans campaign for FBA to leave Africa, to leave America and go to Africa, but y'all at the same time are campaigning for y'all to come over here to the United States, England, and whatnot? Why do y'all do
the majority, dude? You are aware that Africans only make up 6% of the population.
But why are you begging this backwards?
What you mean? Who's begging?
What do you mean?
Why
Begging,
y'all
begging? I don't
campaigning for
understand.
FBA to go to Africa?
Nobody's begging for FBA.
Who's begging for FBA to go to Africa?
Because I'm not an African.
Okay, then that's cool. That's fine. That's your problem.
Okay, Diamond, do you see why I used the word and you were trying to stop it? That's what it is.
let me say something.
You know.
It's Big Black.
Can I say something?
You know. Hey, let Big Black, big man.
Go ahead, Big Black.
But listen, let's say, James, you actually right. 290. But you got to understand, this FBA movement is a white-led movement, right?
Thank you, Big Black.
So do that, please. Pan-Africans, all Pan-Africans, do not use the term FBA. They're trying to take African-Americans, Africanness away from them by using that term. First of all, majority of the people that label themselves FBA claim they always been there, which is a complete lie. They're trying to.
Thank you for a Black American standing for
That's
Africa.
right. That's a fact. That's true.
They always. So we don't come from Africa. Period. You know, come on.
No, we don't. Not one of my
Big Black. Do you see? Big Black. Do you see how he was trying to? Do you see why he was trying? How he was trying to embarrass me as a Nigerian? Do you see when we have problems on the continent in this country, Nigerians is being no. Tunaja, hold on. Do you see when sometimes he hides when Nigerians doing it nothing? Can't lead, has a big country, can't do nothing. Tunaja is nowhere to be found, but he's found in other people's issue, and he wants to take the leadership role and talk down on other people, and whereby he doesn't even have the experience that I have living in America. That's what he was trying to do, and he was putting word. You were putting. No. Let me finish. I gotta land my plane. Tunaja, you will never have the experience that I have living in America, so I won't learn anything from you when you talk about this America here. Nothing. You've been doing this for over 5 years. Alpha Damas, we spoke to you about it, but you still try to be a coon. You want to be a coon. That's what you're trying to be. But I'm not a coon. Big Black is backing me because he know exactly what I was talking about. I'm not saying Black Americans shouldn't have their own lineage. I never said that. But you made a point about me. That's what I said. I never said that. I came on here. They already had a culture. We shall respect. They have a group. We shall respect. You understand? So you don't want to sit here and tell me that I came in America and because of me, that's why this FBA is being created. You are dumb to think that. If you think this is what Africans are doing in America, then you don't know exactly what the F you're talking about. They don't do it because of us. They do it because they have their agenda. That's their own agenda.
Okay,
it has nothing to do with us.
All right, Jay, they pass back to Big Black. I got to pass it to Arca. Go ahead, they got to close out. Go ahead, Big Black.
I see a lot of these. But I'm gonna say this.
Let me just respond quickly to what you just said.
No, man, no.
Let me say this real quick. I think Tunaja means well, but I think he needs to look more into the FBA movement to look and see what that really was about, right? Because the FBA movement would never got started if it wasn't from Tariq using Pan-Africanism to jump that movement. He came out with like 6 movies about Pan-Africanists. He was a so-called Pan-Africanist by the way the movies were laid out. We were thinking he was a Pan-Africanist, but he would never have this big hype if it wasn't because of Pan-Africanism, right? And ever since some people came and talked to him, visited his house, and they wanted having tea and cookies, and he changed his whole tune. And now
who created Pan-Africanism?
Hold on. Let me finish.
FBA, and we're burying it now too.
No,
we buried it.
Every time I see you fake FBAs come on here, you FBAs come on here and try to just crowbar the FBA word in, I'm gonna be on y'all ass. I'm gonna be up in this. Excuse me, Dinas, but I'm gonna be up on this panel and I'm gonna be going against that word FBA. You understand? Because we're not half Indian. We wasn't always in America. We're from
I'm
Africa.
a full-blood American. Speak for yourself, sir.
We're not going to take that away from us.
Big Black.
That's
Big Black.
Point
You know what's
blank and simple. Stop using that term FBA. I know
Black,
you all love Tariq. You look at him as an idol, but you got to stand. It comes a time when you be a man and you stand on your own too and say, "Hey, well, you leading me is some bullshit."
Big Black, he can't do it. He's sitting with us for 5 hours, so he loves us.
All right,
it's now over there with the Native American.
I got to pass the mic to Taraka. We got to close out. Go ahead, Taraka.
All right, quickly. First of all, Dennis, I sent you the super chat, small one, but I'm watching the game.
I read all this. The only super chat I haven't read is the Crenshaw Grinder 4725. Africans get treated the best in America because Black Americans made it easier for all Blacks. Delineation is group solidarity.
No, I sent you the score. of the game.
I read that, Tarka. You missed it. I read
Oh,
it.
you did? Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm here watching the game. It's a good game. Anyway, before MLS got big in the US, right? Before they got big, the players had to go to Europe to play and make money, right? All the good players, they had to go to Europe, both white and black. And back then it was mostly white going to Europe, right? So it's not just Africans going to Europe, right? The players here had to go to Europe because MLS wasn't big enough and there wasn't really no money in it. It was just starting. Now, you know, there's money in it. So that's one thing. Number two, what Tunisia was talking about. I don't know what if Tunisia don't read or anything like that. The here in America, the cutting edge of technology, black people is right there. It's right there, bro. You hear I'm telling you? Right there, right in Silicon Valley. They're right there. The cutting edge, right? Most of the damn invention, including modern invention that serve the world, is made by somebody that's black. That's just the damn truth. GPS, fiber, the whole 9 yards. So I don't know where Tunisia got that nonsense from, that black people is not into technology. My son is an engineer, right? He's in charge of robotics at one of the biggest company in the entire world, right? A matter of fact, he went to Germany one time to oversee a machine that $50 million machine that was building. And my son is big. My son is 6'3", 6'4", and big and wide. And when he walked into the plant to oversee the machine that was supposed to be building, and then he had to go and make an assessment to see if they're doing it correctly, doing it to their spec. Right? They're looking at him like a ghost just walked through the goddamn door. You see what I'm saying? So you know, please stop saying that black people is not into this and black people not into that when black people invented most of the goddamn thing in this world.
Am I gonna be allowed to respond to all these people?
No, go to sleep, man. You need to go to sleep.
You don't have to respond. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm telling you the facts. That's the facts.
It's a fact.
Tahaka, did they not mention Silicon Valley? I don't know if you were listening. The 20-star company, it doesn't even know the names.
Tunisia wasn't listening.
If I'm not allowed to respond, how can people just
No. You're talking time.
Tunisia, I didn't finish speaking yet. Donna said I was the last speaker. Donna said I was the last speaker.
Right, at the Tarka, Tunisia, you got a minute to respond.
You could respond. But no, what I'm trying to tell you, because you don't know, I don't know where you live, because you don't know. You see what I'm saying? Here in America, black people, right, is in tech big time. But then you're not going to see that. They're not going to show it, right? You have to do your research. My son went to Tuskegee University. They're known for over 100 years of pushing technology and architecture and all those type of stuff. Harvard, back in the 1950s, used to go to Tuskegee to study architecture, right? And engineering. They're big into that. You see what I'm saying? One of the most prolific inventors went to and taught at that school. You see what I'm saying? The top people in technology is black people. You don't know, and you should find out. That's all I'm saying.
So if I'm to respond 1 minute,
I never said. May I speak after him for a minute? Just for a minute.
No, we're
I never said that we don't.
All right, it's closing out. All right.
Can I just have the 1 minute? I never said we don't participate in technology. I'm also into technology. I'm in an advanced area too. But
no, you're on YouTube. You're on YouTube, man.
Can you just stop your nonsense?
Hold on. Say, James, be quiet. Let him talk. Go ahead.
Hey, he's on YouTube. That's what I just said, Dennis. That's all.
You just be quiet.
So, I'm also into technology, so I understand what I'm talking about. for our population, we are heavily underrepresented, especially at the highest levels. I mean, all the top 50 tech companies, there is not one that is headed by a black person. There is no black person that has earned the Nobel Prize in any of the sciences. If you cannot take this seriously, every single race, even the Middle East, has produced a Nobel Prize winner in the sciences. Not one black person has ever emerged there, and you think that is happening for just by accident? No, it's not. It doesn't mean that we don't have people there. We know we have people in NASA. A lot of Nigerians are present, even in the UK here. I see a lot of Nigerians in the top institutions here. It still doesn't mean we have enough footprint for our size as a population. In terms of the FBA issue, I agree the FBA stuff is created by foreign non-black people. The agenda is different. But it doesn't mean when somebody is trying to tell you that, okay, we are different from you, you just start from there, start opposing them. You wait until they say something against you, the entire group. If they say, oh, we hate black Africans now, then you come after them. If they say they don't like black Americans or something, you come after them. Well, not when they are saying they are their own people, you start coming after them from that point. That is the point I'm making. I'm not saying you were, that's what I fear you were doing, because you wouldn't let him finish what he was saying.
Man, whatever, dude. Whatever, dude. Whatever, dude.
Let me say the last word. Right?
Whatever, dude.
Chakamoto from Zimbabwe.
Yeah, guys, we're closing out. Two Nigel, you done? Two Nigel, are you done?
I'm done. Thank you.
All right,
he's talking about pride. Pride.
Joining, like, share, subscribe. Next time, family.
British people wants to come to America.
Everyone, thanks so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. To the next time, family. Dynasty Search for Huru. Peace.
See you on the line, Naja.